stuff will make you a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus. Just like me.
It's a good thing to know musicians.
There he is. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Access Vegas, man. I'm really happy to have everybody here. What a great event we had last week. Babes in Toyland Goes Country. Thank you guys for coming out there. We were supporting Hounds and Heroes, where they are raising money to train service animals for disabled veterans. So it's really, really great cause and something that we're going to be doing. We have another charity event coming up May 16th in Miami. If you guys want to come to the Miami White Party, it will be there. Babes in Toyland with Nalu Bay is going to be doing a swimsuit fashion show. And that's going to be the 16th at Strawberry Moon in Miami, if you guys want to check that out. And we have another Babes in Toyland. We have probably 6 more coming up.
And Clavicular may or may not.
I don't know. I got to talk. I got to get permission from Steve Fowler. I don't think he's going to want Clavicular there streaming, but we may have. You will definitely. I have a high probability we're going to end up on one of those streams.
Will definitely be.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll see what happens with that. Anything going on with you?
No, just had a really good time last Friday. Some of you guys were there. That was awesome. It's pretty awesome. Yeah. And then we have the Reignite meetup that's going to be happening in Miami during that same week. That'll be May 15th through the 17th. The fishing trip is already booked up, so if you missed out, you missed out. But it's always fun. So that's coming up on the 14th, I believe.
Yeah, we're gonna just take a trip to 11.
Yeah.
Nobody.
11.
Nobody
wants to go to 11.
Nobody wants to go to
11.
We're not going to fish.
People ask me like, "Is this a strip club?" Well, yeah,
kind of a strip
it's
club.
It's kind of like a club with strippers.
Incredible. All right, we're going to go ahead and introduce our guests here, starting from my left down here at the end of the table. She's from Vegas. She's a model and a singer. It is Celeste. Welcome, Celeste. Next is Celeste. She's from Hawaii. She is an accountant. This is Coley. Welcome, Coley. First time to the show. From Hawaii. She is the owner of Jen's Smokin' Barbecue from San Diego, California. It is Jennifer.
She does brisket.
And her dog. Is that Winston? What is the dog? Winston, the dog, is there with her. Right. And then also, she is the club goddess from the Bay Area. Welcome back, Lala. For the first time, she's joining us. She is a life coach from England. It is Lorraine. How you doing, Lorraine?
I'm good. How are you?
Incredible. And she is a marriage and family therapist who actually does have a license. She's from Fresno, California. It is Jamie Lynn.
Board certified.
She's from Wisconsin. She's a graphic designer. Welcome, Chloe, to the show once again. And for the first time, she is a professional athlete. She's from Boston. It is Brittany Diamond. Welcome to the show.
Real last name.
That's a real name. She is a student. She's from Rigby, Idaho. Welcome for the first time, Jessica, to the show. Thank you for coming on and checking us out, guys. Okay, so we're just going to get into this. This is kind of the biggest quagmire that we've seen on the internet. Some people are going to see this for the first time and be like, oh, shit, I thought that was real, because a lot of people thought this was real. And what we mean by this is obviously the headline that 62 million men joined a Grape Academy in February. Okay. Logic probably should have set in, and you should have said, hey, let me copy this and let me put this in ChatGPT or Grok or Perplexity or Gemini or DeepSeek or any of these, and then check and see whether or not it's true. And then in about 8 to 7 seconds, you would have figured out that it wasn't true. But a lot of people decided to go ahead and run with that article or run with that title that 62 million men had joined it, even though CNN, who wrote the original article, didn't even say that. So can we play a video?
I was gonna say, let me give you another quick build up here, because when this dropped, my Twitter had been hacked. I got it back now, by the way. So my original account, if you're on Twitter and you see me tweeting again, that's actually me. So I did actually get it back. Thank you for all of the hard work that everybody did to get it back for me. But when this story dropped, I was on my other account, and I so wanted to comment about it, but I couldn't. So anyways, here we go.
62 million men.
62 million men.
62 million men.
62 million men.
62 million motherfucking men.
If you have been on the social media for the past few days,
You probably came across videos that claim that 62 million men attended online RAPE Academy. So what actually happened? On March 26, 2026, CNN published an article that deals with a very serious issue: drug-facilitated sexual abuse, hidden online communities, survival stories, and the way these spaces help men exchange tactics on how to abuse women and avoid detection. And it is not some cheap clickbait story. It is a real investigation with real reporting work behind it, real interviews, and real victims at the center of it. So genuinely, I encourage people to actually go and read that article. But then something very frustrating happened online. Something that almost discredited the great and important work those journalists did. A lot of influencers took that story and turned it into something else. They started saying that 62 million men visited a global RAPE academy. And of course, that spread like fire. But then people started looking into it more closely and saying, wait a second, something here doesn't sound right. And that is where the whole thing starts falling apart. Because first of all, it was not 62 million men. The viral claim was taking a visits number and turning it into men. Second, it talked about the visits on the porn site, overall visits, not separated by gender, specific category, or any other way. Third, the specific RAPE Academy element people were talking about was tied to a Telegram group that the report describes as being around 1,000 members, which is still disgusting, still horrifying, but it is obviously not the same as saying 62 million men attended some online course in RAPE. That is not a small mistake. That is not a little wording issue. That is a massive misrepresentation of what people were actually looking at. And then, of course, some of the people who spread it came back with the usual defense. Who cares if it was men or visits? Who cares if the number was wrong? Who cares if it was misrepresented? What matters is the message. No, that is not how this works. Because the message does matter, but the facts matter too. And this is my issue with it. The original CNN story is already serious enough. You do not need to inflate it. You do not need to lie on top of it. You do not need to turn it into a slogan that sounds better on social media. If you actually care about the issue, then you should care about getting it right. Because when you spread blatant misinformation, you are not helping women. You are not helping victims. You are not helping awareness. You are making it easier for people to dismiss the whole subject and say, here we go again. More fake outrage, more fake numbers, more agenda pushing. And that is the issue here. The journalists did real work. They investigated a real and ugly problem. They spoke to real victims. They put together a serious article. And then a bunch of influencers took that work, ripped the nuance out of it, replaced it with a viral claim, and started acting like accuracy no longer matters because their intentions are supposedly good. But good intentions do not excuse false information. In fact, when the topic is this serious, accuracy matters even more.
There you go.
And anybody had heard the story before? Who had heard? Raise your hand. Okay, you had. And what did you think, Brittany, when you first heard it?
So I think this is a great example of why influencers or people that have a voice on social media should not. I was a journalism major, so I saw this story, immediately looked it up on a credible source and was like, okay, great. How fast is this going to spread? I don't consume much social media. I create.
Just real quick. How quickly were you able to tell it wasn't real when you did some investigation?
Within under 10 seconds.
Under 10 seconds.
I saw it on Facebook.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. No, keep going. So you were a journalism major, and then you saw how maybe. And here's another thing. Would you say that the people who have a bigger following have more of a responsibility to get things right?
I wish. Unfortunately, that's not the case. I would like to say morally, yes. But I've been in the social media game now for a while. And it's just, unfortunately, it's kind of like an adult game of telephone.
Yeah.
You know, if you started and you whispered something in his ear, we went around the room, what would it turn into by the end? But with social media, you know, I graduated in 2010. Twitter was just coming to be.
Yes.
Social media was on a very different scale than it is now. So I think it's scary, also disgusting. And I think people in general need to get a brain.
Yes. What did you think, Lala?
Obviously the number is jarring, and I just assumed it was like global, because obviously I think there's we'll say other continents where maybe grape culture is more prominent. But yeah, I mean, I didn't really look into it. I didn't necessarily I don't know. I kind of just am numb and desensitized to all these type of things. So I was like, okay, cool. But I just kind of move in a way to where I just, not that I assume that every man's bad, by no means, because I love the masculine, but I'm always going to be like, if I'm in an alley or walking in my car, I'm always going to be hyper aware if I'm in a parking lot. So I move in that way anyway. It's not going to make or break how I live my life.
Overall, though, what does it tell you about society that anyone would be willing to believe that possibly a third of the male American population was training themselves to rape women? What is that? What I'm asking you is if that anyone believe that? What does that indicate to you? Anybody?
I think we're already divisive.
Yeah.
In everything. And I think the culture that we have going on right now creates divisiveness. I mean, you look at any type of platform where it's women empowerment even.
Yeah.
It's like we're empowering but disempowering at the same time.
Maybe
Or-
infantilizing because of the
Right.
empowerment. Sheryl Sandberg saying that woman who's a tradcon is it's what is it called? Misogynistic. To be a tradcon woman, to be a trad wife. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just think people are incredibly tribal. That's nature.
Mhm.
That's human nature to be tribal, but we've become very divisive in that. And so just to hear, this number, this alarming number, I think everyone's just looking for, confirmation of what they already believe.
Sure. Anybody else?
And you know what? Sorry, I want to touch back on something. I think earlier when you were setting up, you're talking about how younger and younger women, younger and younger, are feeling like more anti-men. And I'm actually raising my soon-to-be 13-year-old nephew, and I picked him up from school the other day from middle school. And it's hard because I'm trying to raise a man, and my brother's out of the picture, so I'm trying to just teach him as much as I can. And I picked him up from school the other day, and he's like, sees his little girls walking past. He's like, yeah, that girl was like so mean to me, and she just said like, I'm no good, and like, and boys suck, and boys are not used. Like, and I'm like, oh my god, these little girls are already regurgitating stuff to like my bambino. And it's like, okay, I was like, no, it's okay. Like, girls and boys just kind of like fight, or I don't know. I don't even know how to like go about teaching him this stuff that's already trickling down to middle school.
Yes. So I guess the question from this is, there's a great book on this you should read. It's called Enlightenment Now by Steven Pinker, and he goes over how the world is so much better, but if you watch the news, it seems like it's terrible. Right. What do you guys think that has happened to the amount of sexual assault that's happened over the last 50 years? Do you think it's gone up or down? Anybody?
It's probably gone up.
Interesting. Anybody else?
I would say it's gone up because the population has just increased and more people have become of sexual age.
Yeah, it's gone dramatically down. Like exquisitely, like by a order of magnitude. It's gone down. Go ahead.
Based on what statistic?
But any statistic reporting, and this is all across the entire world. And part of the reason why is for the same reason that you're bringing up, like the consequences for sexual assault, especially because of video and audio, the consequences for it, it's much easier. It's not easier to catch people. Obviously, a lot of sexual assault does not get caught or prosecuted, but the overall amount that happens is actually way less than it was. We do have a bit of a police state where you can film everything, but no, it's not even close to what it was in the 1950s. The 1990s were actually bad, but in the last 30 years, it's dropped significantly. So
I think there's a lot to do with forensics as well, DNA technology.
Exactly.
That.
Oh, for sure. Well, by the way, you know what else is down? Women cuckolding men. Since DNA technology in the 1980s, that doesn't happen as much anymore. Why? Because the consequences are pretty dire. You can tell when something's not your child, and so the amount of sexual assault technology would reduce that as well. My point is, if it's reduced, how in the world could a third of the male population of the United States, and that includes elderly and children under the age of 16, a third of them are training to sexually assault women? How could that even possibly be true? So for those of you who don't know, it wasn't 62 million men, it was 62 million visits to a website. And on the website wasn't promoting SA. The website had a small subsection. You know how you guys can see where it says like MILFs and all these different categories, stepbrother, whatever. One of the categories was called sleep, and people were filming each other sleep, not assaulting each other while they're sleeping, but they were filming each other sleep. In one of the sleep videos, there was a link, and the link took you to a Telegram group, and the Telegram group had just under 1,000 people in it. And in that Telegram group that had 900 and something people in it, in that Telegram group, people were sharing secrets on how to drug their partners. Horrible what's going on. Absolutely terrible. Not 62 million, though.
I am curious where they got the language for academy from.
Oh, probably from Andrew Tate's stuff.
That's exactly where I'm
probably
going.
from Andrew Tate's academy.
And that's why this got legs, is because they included the word academy. It sounded like something that might have been passed around on Louis Theroux's Inside the Manosphere, and those guys are they have universities and academies and stuff like that, and I think that's honestly, I think and it sounds like it's organized. It sounds like okay, we're paying a membership fee so we can learn how to do this. And didn't I hear that last month on that documentary on Netflix? That it's they're going to do it anyways because it's going to get clicks. You're going to get you're going to get engagement out of that for sure. But again, it's I hate it when people want to say like, oh, the manosphere is dividing the gender divide, blah blah blah. I'm like, you don't need the manosphere for that. So you just have everybody's doing it anyway.
So a couple of things. Number one, if I get something accurate, that does not demean the suffering of the people who are victims. It does not. In fact, it clarifies what they've gone through. Number one. Number two, we have a thing. We have a place here. It's called the Shade Tree in North Las Vegas, if you guys are aware, and they are a home for victims of domestic abuse.
Used to work there.
Yes, the Shade Tree.
I lived there as a child.
At the Shade Tree here, yeah.
Mhm.
Incredible place. It's actually a defensible position. Like they have concrete walls everywhere. It's all boarded. I've been in there several times, and I've done charity events for the Shade Tree. If you guys want to do something about this, donate to the Shade Tree and donate to some charity that tries to work against sexual assault, and stop wasting your fucking time listening to these stupid fuckers on TikTok who lie to you. They have done nothing to help this problem. And by them exaggerating, all they've done is made the problem worse. Does everybody understand? Like, let me ask you something. The Duke lacrosse scandal. Once you found out later that the girl had lied about everything, does that make other people who have sexual assault claims seem more credible or less credible? It makes them seem less.
It's like the boy who cried wolf.
Exactly. So the reason why, and by the way, we're going to clip this, and you're going to see all these people in the comments being like, who cares if it wasn't 62 million? It really does matter. There's a word called homicide, and there's a second word called genocide. They mean two different things because numbers mean something. And so acting as if getting it accurate, what my point is, I'm not trying to promote that culture. I'm trying to promote people donating their time and resources to actual 501c3s that do something to try to stop this issue, instead of watching these idiots, these pandering, dog whistling, virtue signaling idiots on TikTok who keep saying this and making the problem worse. When Lindsey Hill lied about the whole Trevor Bauer situation, this whole Jonah Hill nonsense, the whole stuff with what's his name? Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and it turned out she lied about so much stuff. She had won a summary judgment against him before this in the UK. Basically, the judge just believed everything that she said. And of course, the vast majority of time, if someone's claiming that, they're probably telling the truth. They are. But the problem is when they don't, the people who should be most upset about false SA allegations are women, and the people who should be upset about this are actual victims of someone drugging you and taking advantage of you while you're passed out. You should be angry that they got this wrong. And you know who didn't get this wrong? I'll give you credit, is CNN. If any of you guys actually read the CNN article, it discredits every single person who said that there were 62 million men who went and did this. So getting things right is always okay. It's always, and I'm telling you right now, in the future, we're going to get, there's Stephanie right there. In the future, we're going to get to something else where, we talk about numbers. Numbers do mean things. Accurate numbers do mean things. And like you said before, I know a lot of women who actually believe the amount of sexual assault has increased over the last 50 years, but it's not even close. It's nowhere near as much. But if you believe that, and then you also have a negative opinion of men, which is going to lead me to my next point, which is this. I'm going to just read off this whole thing.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Women, this is from Chris Williamson. Okay, so that's about as middle of the package you can get right there. Chris, women feel much more negatively towards young men than young men feel about them. So 72% of men, this is a research poll, this is 72% of men had a positive view of women, whereas only 50% of women had a neutral or negative view of men. 21% of women had an actively negative view of men, and only 7% of men felt the same. Meaning, when women were surveyed, only 50% of them thought positively of men, and only 7% of men thought negatively of women. So what we're supposed to believe is, for all the talk that the manosphere inspired misogyny, 3 times more women hold a negative view of men than the other way around. And my point is, if I believed that 62 million men had actually joined a Grape Academy, I would definitely have a negative view of men, except it didn't happen. That's my point. It's like when it seems like when I watch Inside the Manosphere or all this other content, I'm supposed to believe that this type of content is turning men against women. And then I read the actual data, William Costello's data on why isn't there more incel violence, and I found out that that is not the case. By the way, did you guys know violent video games don't make kids violent? Did you guys know that? There's data. It's pretty conclusive. It doesn't. It turns out that wasn't true. That was just make-believe that somebody needed to believe. And so that's the thing. This data does matter. These numbers do matter. But what it seems like is that the propaganda that turns women against men seems to be way more powerful, according to this survey, than the propaganda that's supposed to turn men against women. Anybody?
I have a couple comments.
Go ahead.
All right. Aside from the Grape conversation.
Yes.
We read these statistics, but nobody's asking the question why. Why are women decreasing their idea of men? There's tangibles as to why women are changing their perspective about men. Because men have changed.
Yes.
They have changed. Women are stepping up. They're becoming more educated.
Yes.
They're making more money. Respectfully, there's a lot of beta men out there.
Of course.
So there's a lot of reasons.
You don't have to say respectfully. We're the ones. We're the ones who call them men. Yeah.
Do you know what show this is?
Do you understand what show you're on?
But there are women, you know, and again, we're looking at a vague statistic. I don't know what age group these women are being surveyed.
So as they got younger, their opinions of men dropped even further. So women under 25, the number was even lower. It was 35%.
What's the reason why? Are they asking those questions?
Well,
I'm curious.
We could go back and check, but I'm going to tell you that the vast majority of it is because the overall zeitgeist of this country is in total complete manipulation and control by social media. I mean, there's nothing else. It's not, you don't know, half of you guys don't know who your fucking neighbors are. You don't know the principal of the high school. You don't even, I'll bet you most of you in this room do not know the mayor of Las Vegas. You don't.
Who was just doing a live stream for the state of the town. Just so that.
The point is, the entire cultural belief systems that we have in this country, no matter what it is, it's entirely coming to us from social media.
Entirely?
And, what else is there?
I mean, it's the chicken or the egg conversation. What came first? How did the it's like you look at media, and I don't disagree with you, but it's like what came first? And when we look at the younger like these young girls and these young boys, they're different.
Oh, I agree. I think this is the most feminine group of men who've ever existed.
We've got to look at both sides of the scale here.
You made a great point before where you were talking about dividing us. So if I'm a social media platform, one of the best ways for me to keep you on the platform is to keep telling you that what you believe is right and whatever you don't believe is wrong.
Man, it's just
correct.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine
it feeds you what you already
correct?
Believe.
Can you imagine the algorithm in all good conscience, you being a flat earther and it giving you flat earth content? I know for a fact it does that.
No, I know that.
So the thing is, your belief system, what I'm saying is, if you all automatically have a belief system, it's going to lean you more into that extreme viewpoint till you see more content. And for me, one of the things that I've done is I highly recommend you guys check out Ground News. It's an app called Ground News. And it shows you the left or right leaning of every story and the factual nature of it. And it keeps trying to show you stories that are in your blind spot that you might not know about. So I try to subscribe to as many content creators that I don't like, whose opinions I don't agree with, because the algorithm is there to cut me down and to make me believe in shit that isn't true. Like 62 million men joined a rape academy. Right. And so my point is that comment, the fact that many people spread that nonsense, and by the way, a lot of them were men. That to me is part of the reason why 50% of women have an unfavorable view of men. The other thing that you mentioned is also terrific. In 1972, there was 15% more men than women graduating from college. In 2019, it was even. In 2026, it's now 15% more women than men graduating from college. And I think the number's actually higher than that. I think you're 3 times more likely to get you're 3 times more likely to get a master's degree if you're an African-American woman than if you're a white man. It's as far as master's degrees, it's almost totally done by women. And as far as psychology is concerned, under the age of 30, 95% of psychologists are female. They've leveled up. They absolutely have. But in doing so, because you want men who are even more successful than you have fewer men to choose from. And now a man who might have been a good match 20 or 30 years ago, you think less of him. And that might be part of it as well. I mean,
without might be, there's a lot of variables here.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't think it's one shoe fits all.
Right.
I think there's a lot of different variables in that conversation. And I am one person that is all for equalizing and making people get on both sides of conversations.
Sure.
But you're also an incredibly perspective person. You do your research, you do your homework. Most people are sheep. They're not shepherds.
Yes.
Okay. So you're a shepherd. But that's the problem with social media. Whatever you already believe in yourself, whatever you already think is true, is a definitive thing in your belief system, you're going to go search for that information.
Yeah.
Whether you're back in the 80s with an encyclopedia, you're finding your group of people that are going to do the stories and talk about the things that you like to talk, or you're at the water cooler, or now you just have it 10x with social media. But they don't find whatever you're looking for.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Awesome. Did you have anything else you want to go over?
No, I was just going to say is that there's this constant drone about the gender divide. There's this constant drone about whatever men's issues that are unignorable right now. And I mean, we're going to get to this later on here, but it's become so unignorable that it's not, It's not coming from the manosphere. It's coming from everyone.
People
right
who
now.
hate us are spewing our talking points
Exactly.
on Oprah Winfrey now.
Yes.
Like that's how ridiculous, how out of whack this thing has gotten. And it's nobody's fault. Women make more money. That's terrific. But every single data source you'll find that is that when women make more money, they want men who make even more money in general, not all the time.
Doesn't change the machine.
They do. And as they do that, there's fewer men for them to choose from. And when they complain about men, my ex was a narcissist, they're talking about those men who who were getting chosen, not Deborah So's new book, Sextinction, goes over the fact that, guys, I'll show you a chart. In 2008, 12% of men had gone a year without sex. That number by 2019 or 2018 had gone up to 23%. And we were told, no, this was just a balancing out. This had to do with inflation or the rising cost of homes. No, Deborah So came out with a new study. It's 33% of men go a year without sex. 33% of men. There's, I believe it's 48% of men go a year without going on a date. 48%. And then somewhere close to 50% of married couples go a month without sex. There were all these statistics that were going on. These are real things that are happening, and they're only going in one direction. And it's just, but
if you say that, and you relate that data, you're a fucking misogynist.
I'm a misogynist for bringing this up.
Exactly. But if
Chris
Deborah
Williamson
So does, then it's breaking news, and oh my God, we better do something about this.
When Scott Galloway, Chris Williamson, or Richard Reeves says exactly verbatim what we say, it's not considered to be as offensive. But when we say it, they consider it to be offensive. Well, the reason why is because we did not start with the land acknowledgement before we made our statement.
Or we'll get a well, women don't owe you guys anything. They don't owe you. We're like, well, that's not what we're saying. But we're just relating the info to you. But that's where it goes when it comes from us, as opposed to coming from someone else or coming from somebody on that side of the gate.
Two things I'm going to say, and this is the reason why Inside the Manosphere did not want to interview us. Number one, there are no victims in his community, and there are no victims in my community. None of us are fucking victims. None of us. I make my clients all read David Goggins, and they all read Jocko Willink. There's nobody who's coming to save you. You are the only person you can depend on, number one. And number two, it is nobody's fault. This is all a function of natural selection and evolutionary mismatch. It is no one's fault.
So it's men not having sex. Sorry to interrupt your
go ahead.
Your rant, but so are men not having sex part of the natural selection? Then these poor guys that are going a whole year without sex?
Evolutionary mismatch.
That last show,
It's evolutionary mismatch.
Okay, so do we want to mess up natural selection then, or should those men just go without having sex?
That's
Maybe
a good
it's
question.
Population control.
It could be, right? It could be,
right.
And what you're saying isn't right or wrong, but I do know a lot of those men, and they're great guys, and they're getting passed over because they're not on the dating app. They're 5'9".
We'll define great.
Great. They're wonderful people who take care of their family and work really hard and are caring, giving individuals.
So they have families?
And are they looking for a relationship, or are they just looking for sex? Because you guys have made it very clear there's certain women you'll sleep with, certain women you will wanting to actually put a ring on it. So a lot of us are realizing, maybe I shouldn't sleep with this guy because he's not serious. Y'all are kind of letting us know, we got to vet y'all further to know before you get sex.
Chloe, I believe that for the 10 or 20% of men, maybe less, that you find attractive, I absolutely believe that some of them just want sex and some of them want a relationship. For the men that I'm talking about in the bottom 30-40%, they would marry you tomorrow if you gave them a chance. They swipe on dating apps 6,000 times and don't get a single fucking match.
But men are so picky. I feel like, ladies, y'all need to chime in. I feel like we can point it this way, and I'm not trying to bash men, but I swear, like, these gentlemen that are maybe not the most ideal, whether it's aesthetics or financial, whatever it is, they think that they can get a certain caliber of women, and they're the ones that are being picky sometimes, and they're killing, they're shooting themselves in the foot.
I totally agree with you that there is a group of men. So I've said this before, there's 3 genders. There's high status men, there's women, and there's low status men.
Look, I think a really important thing that gets missed in relationships is love. Okay, that's something that nobody talks about, is love and compatibility, not just like linking up and being in a relationship. Like, love is a thing that like sustains people. It's connection, spirituality, all these other things that kind of get mismatched and like left in the dust. So it's like, all right, there's a bunch of single people out there. Well, me being a licensed marriage family therapist, I talk to a lot of people that are married and hate their spouse. Okay, and they're just with the wrong person, but it's far better for that person to be single than with the wrong person.
In general, are we less capable of love then? Is that what you're saying?
No, not at all. It's not what I'm saying. What I think is people don't know how to pick the right partner.
I agree with
think
that.
People
Yes.
lack patience, and I think I did a video on this. You can't see it, but I did a video on this a couple months ago where I was talking about the pressure on women that does come a lot from the manosphere to settle down while you're young. And
It's more the tradcons, not really the manosphere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever it is,
trad space for sure.
Trad space. Okay. So sorry. So in that space, marry young, have kids, whatever,
Yes.
that's your value, settle down, whatever. And then women feel that pressure. Women always feel the pressure of time. And then they pick from that place a lot of times. And then they pick from the pressure of time, and my time is running out. And guess what? They pick the wrong
Desperation.
dude.
Sure.
They picked the wrong dude.
Right at
you know?
28 years old when the epiphany phase kicks in, you're like the club's closing down, and you better find somebody before they turn the lights on.
So here's where I think the massive misunderstanding is. When I hear women complaining about men, I just go with me with this thought experiment. Top 20% of men, these men make a lot of money. They're very physically attractive and have no trouble getting multiple female partners. All of women, and then the bottom 80% of men. Just consider them as three different groups. What I'm talking about is those top 20% of men. You're right. They are picky. You're right. They are. A lot of them are fucking narcissists. A lot of them cheat. 100%. I agree with
I'm
you.
not talking about those. I feel like, we can go down a rabbit hole. I think the bigger problem is dating apps more than social media.
Yeah, but men aren't matching on dating apps.
Look, I have to point this out because this point gets really missed. What's the solution?
Right.
Okay? Yeah, the solution.
So so if we switch it back to what's the solution here, the solution for most people will be to settle. To settle for somebody that you're not really into.
I have a different solution, but I understand
What's your
what you're saying.
solution?
My solution is for people to use social media to be social, to not consume social media, but produce on there so that you can get groups of people together and have
real time.
And almost I would completely forego dating in total and just have group activities with people that you're like-minded with and get to know them first and then consider the idea of dating. I think that would be way better than I swiped right on a guy and he was cute and I gave him a shot, but because he didn't smell right or whatever, he gave me an ick because he had a raincoat on. I don't want to date him anymore. I think that is the problem.
That's almost exactly how I date. Actually.
Yes.
Because I almost I feel like if I meet a guy or if I'm out or whatever, and they'll come on to me and I'm like, okay, cool. I get it, and maybe we'll get their number or something like that. But it's almost like I have to, for me, this is weird, but it's almost like I have to friend zone them first.
Yes.
Because it's and sometimes just because I want to see how they are, who they are, and then after a couple years, then I'm like, okay, you are a good person.
Well, how
then,
about you get to observe how other people act around them?
Exactly.
How about you get to
exactly?
That's exactly my point. That is so much better than dating. That is the solution because we've gotten so far away of mental acuity and being able to read the room.
I mean, your solution, if I reframe it, is just meeting people and expanding your social circle.
No, there's difference between meeting people and expanding my social circle. If you're in my social circle, there's some level of trust and commonality.
Exactly.
Just meeting you in general is a little bit different. But having groups of people together, we used to do this in high school. People would go drink beer under the bridge, and it was a big group of people.
Right. So what that does is it creates the opportunity to possibly in meet the person you're supposed to be with, which would be a good avenue to do, which we kind of lose the sense of connection, right, with dating apps and things like that. So I agree with what you're saying, but I think what gets lost in translation 90% of the time is that we lose the importance of connection. There's more emphasis on picking out of time. There's more emphasis on, hey, you just you focus more on a relationship rather than being single. And then there's shame attached to being single as well. Something is wrong with you if you're not single, which again puts pressure on, well, I better be with this person because, I don't want to be blacklisted.
Yeah. There's also shame, especially second generation South Asian men or East Asian men, their families are also shaming them. Why aren't you married by this point? Latin American men, same kind of situation. So I agree with you.
And all of these things cause us to pick the wrong person, and then we get divorced.
I think a lot of that shame comes from our family as well. Go ahead.
I was just curious on what you're seeing in your practice. So it's out of time and desperation, or this person will wife up with me, and so that's fine. Yeah. But do you find maybe women in particular, are they like you said, it's we're going past love and connection. So are you just seeing people that are trying to be okay, a high status man, or he's good on paper? Are they going for the good on paper guys? And
in
going
Vegas, I see something very different.
Well, this is a whole different world and element.
Vegas is different.
Are most of your clients out of here?
I see clients kind of in California and Vegas.
Which is different.
So it is different. But I will say, gosh, I lost my train of thought. I think overall, what I see is this. I see people that are attached. I don't see people in love.
Got it.
Okay. That's what I'm dealing
And
with.
scared to be alone and scared to rip that Band-Aid off.
Yeah,
Be
or
like,
they
this isn't the
don't, or
person.
here's a good one. They don't know their value. They don't know their worth. Okay. Or like, look, like we all have past, like there's abuse and trauma and things like that that come into it, right? Don't want to get into the weeds with that. But there are a lot of, like, most people are not with the right person. Right. And that's a really unpopular opinion, but it's true. So when people come to me for marriage and family therapy, sometimes my advice is you shouldn't be with that person. And that's not what people want to hear.
They
but
don't want to take it.
They don't want to take it, right? But you're actually dealing with attachment issues and like addiction, because attachment is a form of addiction.
Right.
And that makes it really hard to separate. Like, look at trauma bonding. Trauma bonding ain't love, but it's a lot harder to break than a love bond.
Well, people get attached. They get addicted to the emotions. That's even when you see people like the fighting. It's like, oh my God, they're fighting, but they get back together. It's like that cycle of like abuse and like
it's
the
called
emotions.
it's called an intermittent reinforcement schedule, and Vegas is known for that. Yep.
Oh my God. Yes.
Your point about dating apps, what were you saying?
I was saying that I think that that dating apps are a big part of the problem. Personally, for me, that's what I think, because I feel like what happens is it creates this idea of superiority. Like some people think they're better than.
From whom? Like, you understand that women get 17. Women get 17 times as many matches as men on dating apps.
Well, even for some women, I mean, you could look at certain women that, let's say that none of that existed and we were just all out socializing and creating bigger social circles and things like that. You wouldn't have 1,000 guys coming up to you.
Right. No, I understand.
And so what happens
I don't think it's inflating men's ego at all. Dating.
No. What I'm doing is I'm taking the man's side.
Sure.
You just gotta let me finish. Okay. So what I'm saying is that for men that are out there trying this avenue to date, there are women that they're, and I hate to put women in categories, or, there's people who put them in a number of categories of what have you, but they'll look at a woman who would maybe in a social setting wouldn't have as much attention on her. And for so many reasons, whether they're using, filters or what have you, they can paint a picture. And so they think they're in a category that they're not, and they become over selective, and it leaves men feeling discouraged.
I need to get you an affiliate code. That's exactly that. Matt Walsh absolutely made a video where he just destroyed dating apps. Do you know 7 men for every woman on Tinder? Like, Matt, you guys want to go to a party where there's 7 dudes for every woman?
I also see this too, to your guys' point, because I also agree with this. It's like, well, I have this many Instagram followers, and somehow they think they're a celebrity.
Yes, but again,
that's a metric of their ego.
Again, that's not the bottom 80% of men, though. They're not going, I have this many.
Go around the table.
I meant that more directed towards women.
Oh, sure, for sure.
Go around the table and ask the question, right? Where did you meet your boyfriend?
Last 3 guys you dated? Where'd you meet them?
Where'd you meet them?
The last one I met when I was out in a social atmosphere. I was
Did
with a
you have
girlfriend
common
and
friends?
networking. No, but I was at a networking thing. He was there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you go up to him or did he come up to you?
He came up to me.
After he came up to you, what was the first thing you checked?
What was the first thing I checked?
Did you ask about him? Did you check him on social media? Anything?
I didn't go into social media, but I'm grown.
Okay.
Okay. I know how to have a conversation. I think I can vet a person through conversation.
Perfect. Okay, cool.
Yeah. I'm not disillusioned by someone's social media.
And what you just said there is key, because I think the dating apps goes back to the social media culture. And like you were just saying with the stats, all the women under 25 hating on men. It's like, they get this dopamine rush from being on these apps, men and women. They're like, oh, I'm so hot, I'm getting the likes. Well, maybe not the men in your case. You're saying they don't match, but maybe I know women that go on there to get their OnlyFans increased or get
funnel marketing.
I would say of the very attractive women on dating apps, more than 50% of them are trying to get guys to go down an OnlyFans funnel. And whenever I bring that up, there's a bunch of girls on here who are on OnlyFans that start looking around like, that's what we're doing.
And like you said, people do not know how to have a conversation. It's absolutely disgusting.
Yes.
I remember I called my mom. I've been in Vegas for 4 years now. I remember I called her, I think it was 3 years ago, and I said, I'm sorry, Mom. I know I'm your only girl. I hope I'm not disappointing you. I just don't think, I have a successful business. I'm starting another one. I don't think marriage or kids are in my cards. And she was like, baby, don't say that. You can meet someone tomorrow at the grocery store. And I was like, but Mom, what I'm telling you is if it happens, awesome. But I'm also okay with being alone. I love my business. I love my clients. I find joy in the small things. And she's like, it's okay. You might meet someone. And I wasn't. God. And I actually am getting married.
Not really listening.
I'm getting married next year.
Nice.
Which is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Because I'd kind of given up on dating and just, it's like, okay,
But you were fulfilled in your own life and your other things, and you don't feel like you have to be tied to marriage or like the identity of that.
Yeah.
Well, you said you gave up. That's a very specific thing. Why did you give up? Maybe she's part of the 50%.
I think because I was so like, I would be very honest and upfront with a man, they would see my social media. I'm like, hey, look, being an athlete, it's how I make my money. This is what I do. But I want you to know that I put my phone down. I don't sleep. Like, it's not my life. That is how I make money.
Right.
Can you handle that though? And a lot of the men didn't know how to handle that because they said they could. And then they would see me working, 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. some days.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah. They always,
I wasn't expecting that. And I'm like, well, I told you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've seen that. I have it in the reverse where the girl's like, I really like dating this super wealthy man, and then to realize he's on the phone all the time, and he's all exactly. When the guy
Is
first
the man over broke though.
When the guy came up to you the first time, did he hit on you or was he friendly? Like, what was his approach when he first?
I felt like he had great masculine energy.
Okay.
He was a gentleman.
Okay.
He offered myself and my girlfriend a drink.
Okay.
And I normally do not accept drinks from men.
Yes.
Because you can't, they're paying to stay and I want them to go away and I can buy my own drinks.
There you go.
And I don't mean to sound jaded, but that's, but the way in which he approached was very confident,
Okay.
And so, and that sparked a conversation between the two of us.
Last 3 guys you dated.
Yeah, all in the wild through friends.
In the wild.
In the wild.
In the
Yeah,
wild.
on the wild through friends,
The
like friends of
field.
friends. My ex-husband I met when I was working at Story nightclub in Miami.
Yeah.
So he understood my lifestyle. We had like the Miami, like I guess like industry couple life or
Yes.
whatever. And the guy who I kind of like secret boo on the side. Not the side, I don't like anything, but yeah, that was through.
Well, he knows he's on the side now.
He does now.
No.
Yeah.
Go ahead and send us a super chat.
I don't even have the main guy. He's like the main, but it's just like quiet.
There is no first place. They're all in second place.
Yes.
Is that it? Okay. So by the way, the answer that I'm actually looking for, and I don't expect any of you to give it, but maybe you will, is that I met a guy through a dating app, or I met a guy who came up and started hitting on me in a bar. Because those are the 2 things that men are being taught to do right now. And I'm telling you, they are completely fucking ineffective. But that's every dating coach is telling guys to do that right now. Jen, last 3 guys you dated.
I passed.
You passed. Is that what you
Okay.
did? Go ahead.
Well,
Cola.
same. So the one I'm with now,
Yes.
I actually met at the bar.
Okay.
I wasn't approachable at the bar, so he contacted me on social media.
So he saw you on social. He saw you at the bar, and then he contacted you through social media. What made you respond to him?
He was hot.
No, it was just a very odd conversation. Like because where I'm from,
Grab the mic.
Really small. Oh, sorry. Where I'm from is really small.
Okay.
So pretty much everybody. Everybody knows each other. We do have a small variety of men and women because everybody knows each other.
What city are we talking about?
Hilo. So I live from Hilo. I'm on the Big Island.
Okay.
Our population is very small.
Did you-
Everybody's related to each other. Everybody moves around each
What
other.
was there any did you look at his social media at all once he started contacting you?
No.
You didn't look at it all. You
I
just
didn't.
looked. You just read the message. That was
It
it.
was just very. It was. I think he added me
Mhm.
and started liking everything, and then I seen a story of his that.
So you did see a story
so
of
I seen a
his.
story of his.
Okay, got
and
it.
That's what made me write to him.
That's what made him write to you. Okay, so
Yes.
social media. Thank you once again. How did you meet the last 3 guys you dated?
Speak in the mic.
In the mic
Right,
front
right.
there, please.
Straight up. There.
2 of them like social media, and then one I seen them I guess in person, or like we seen each other in person, and then it's like same thing with.
Did you have any
her,
common
we reached
friends?
out.
Oh, he just reached out.
Yeah. 2 of them no, and then 1 yes.
Okay, got it. Welcome, Stephanie Fry, to the show. Stephanie, last 3 guys you dated.
The last guy I dated was Randy. I actually met him probably at Babes the Toilet a year
Yeah.
and a half ago.
Okay, so that's a social event?
And it was on accident. Like
Yeah.
I didn't know I was supposed to bring a present, and we were just there at the front. Yeah, I was there at the front. Like my girls Mia invited me to come, and it was just a coincidence. And I'm talking to the front guy. He's like, "Oh, you're supposed to bring a present." I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, but my friend's right there." And Randy overheard me, and he's like, "Well, I got extra gift cards." And I was like, "That's nice." So that's how we started the conversation. And
So an exclusive event.
it was an exclusive
Yes.
event. We walked each other in, and we exchanged like, "Where are you from? Where are you from?" We're both from Texas, and we just kind of hit it off from there.
Before that, was anybody else that you dated? I just want to know. I don't need to know the details of the day, but what I'd like to know is how you met them.
That one was Randy.
Uh-huh.
2 prior was on Tinder.
It was on Tinder. You met them on Tinder.
Mhm.
Okay, and then you just matched with them on Tinder, and that worked out. Okay, cool. How'd you meet the last 3 guys you dated?
So actually at the club and on dating apps.
At the club. What do you mean? So what do you mean at the club?
So one time I went with a group of people, and then I don't know. We were just kind of dancing in front of another table, and one of the people invited me, and then I started seeing the guy for like months after that.
Okay, so you met him because they brought you to the table. Was it any of your common friends?
No, I had no idea.
And then which dating app did you use?
Tinder.
Tinder? Yeah. You just met him and you just saw a guy you thought he was hot and matched with him.
Yeah, and married him.
And married him. It's incredible.
I don't recommend it.
What was the thing that caused you to swipe right on him?
I thought he was attractive. And then once we kind of talked, it was one of those things where maybe now that I'm in therapy, maybe it just was one of those things where I was lonely. I was a single mom. And if I would have been in a better mental position, I would have realized the trouble that I would have caused myself in life.
I don't even have any commentary. That's exactly right. Yes, exactly. Brittany, what would the last 3 guys you dated?
Social media.
Speaking of the mic.
Social media / introduction from a mutual friend.
Okay.
Podcast interview. Bumble.
Bumble. Okay, so tell me about the Bumble one. What made you swipe right on him?
I was. Oh God.
Were you still? So you were a strong woman, and then switched to bodybuilding.
Yes.
Was he also in that arena?
No. So Bumble. Okay, this was probably 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I remember actually it was yesterday because my roommate and I at the time were like, we're going to try to go on 2 dates a week. One will be for free dinner. One we want to be for a real connection. Yeah. Okay, I was in my 20s.
Can you move this way? By the way, you're almost off camera.
Yeah.
Move your whole chair and everything up towards us. You're almost off camera. Go ahead.
There you go.
Go ahead.
So I remember I was like, okay, I'm just going to swipe. I took the train into work. I worked at Boston Business Journal at the time. And I was just not having luck. And then I saw this one guy. He said he was a former Marine. I liked his tattoos. And I was like, okay, he doesn't look like a bot. And it's someone that does not go to my gym. And I swiped on him.
Okay.
We were in a relationship I almost married him. Luckily, I did not for 5 years. And then I found out he was still on Bumble.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
I
never deleted it.
Stephen Stewart Williams has a new study that came out that Bumble, Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge do actually help the top 5% of men have sex. No, not for anyone else. And it has absolutely no bearing on relationship satisfaction whatsoever. Like none. It does not help at all, but it does increase the number of STIs and sexual assault. It actually does increase those numbers. Go ahead.
I definitely believe that.
Go ahead.
Speaking of, turn the mic towards you. There you go.
The guy I'm with currently is a photographer. I'm a model, so we were introduced by mutual friends.
Okay.
And then the one before that was a coworker. And the one before that, I'm also met him at work.
Okay, got it. And then yours was on a sign.
Do you really want to know that story? I mean, I went to his work, right?
Yeah,
I didn't know he was working.
It's social circle. She doesn't have to answer. Plead the fifth. I'm your attorney. Plead the fifth on this.
Embarrass me here.
You know.
It was in real life. Okay.
It was in real life. Okay.
Yeah.
My point is, for the majority of women I talk to, the majority of the time, they all got on a dating app for maybe 15 minutes. They had one bad experience and got off. And yet I'm telling you guys, if you go, any guy who's like a competitor in my space, because I'm a performance coach for men, anybody who's a competitor in my space, they're all telling you to get on dating apps, and they're telling you to go up to strange women and tell them that you're interested in them. And I see some of you ladies laughing, and yet I like, you've seen the girls I date. Like, that is not how to fucking do it anymore. It's exclusive events. It's using social media, having your social media curated properly where you don't look like you're some dude with a creepy van driving around in a white van capturing people. Okay. And it's having female friends who introduce you to other people. Nothing trumps having women introduce you to other women. As all the women in here are shaking their head.
I feel like men need to know body language.
Sure.
So they don't set themselves up for rejection. I taught my son that.
But what if your son friend zoned every woman and then
no, I don't mean to friend zone. It's like when if it's there us, I heard this woman, she did this study or what have you, and I can't remember her name now, but she said that men now, a woman has to give him at least 15 cues in order for him to feel comfortable to come up to her without being rejected.
Yes.
But another thing that for us, like us women, we don't bite. We actually like to be approached. However, I think some men, they assume because you're pretty, as an example, and you say hello and you're polite, that it automatically means I'm interested. Yep. And if a man could just follow the body language of a woman. So for example,
I always say like the most dangerous thing for a woman is to smile at a man.
Because they take it the wrong way.
Think that you like them.
Okay.
You know.
So if you guys want to look this up, because I think it would be great, because I know you have a podcast. look up male over perception bias and female under perception bias. So you're right. In general, they do experiments where they show a man and a woman sitting there talking. They're studying with each other, and they're of like equal attractiveness. And they ask men, what percentage of you think that she's interested in him? And the number's outrageous. It's like 60, 70%. And they ask women the same photo, what percentage of you think that she's interested in him? It's like 17%. It's like very low. They put makeup on the woman. They have a woman who's even more physically attractive, and the number for men increases. Men mistake anything you do as a sexual advance, the more attractive you literally don't have to do anything. In fact, you can be so pretty.
What's really going on there is actually a psychological phenomenon called projection, right? That's what's actually underlying that. So it's not necessarily about the woman's attractive level. It's about he perceives that she's attractive. Therefore, he internalizes that and then projects that onto her.
I feel like experience is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is if you are maybe not even attractive is enough, because I host several pageants. There's a welcome. The girls who win my pageants are not always the prettiest girl, but they're the girl that every guy thinks he could fall in love with, even though they know they don't have a chance with her.
Attainability.
This is attainability. It's so, shout out to Kesslin Hart, shout out to fucking Jerica Martin, shout out to all these girls. These girls were incredible pageant models, and every guy felt like they were the most special seen dude in the world. And real talk, the Rhino, Sapphire, and CH3, there's full of girls that do that as well, which is, by the way, why I don't believe in the body language thing.
Well, I mean, as far as because it's an autonomic response, right? So if a man comes up to me and I'm interested in him, and I'll tend to lean a little bit forward towards him.
I think this is
as opposed to pulling away. No, it's something that people do subconsciously.
No, I think it's because you're more emotionally mature. I think that's why you do that. I think a lot of women right now are complaining they don't want to be approached more. Every guy who approaches them, they think is ugly and disgusting.
The only reason women are saying that is because they're not attracted to the dude.
There
like
it
if
is.
it's because let me tell you, like
is.
if it's an attractive
or the
guy
approach.
I think it's more about attraction than it is about approach in this sense. Just because like if a hot dude comes up to you, doesn't matter which way he comes up to you, you're more likely to entertain.
Cool.
I'm not saying that's always.
What percentage of guys are hot?
But
what
I will say this.
Listen to this. Guys, ready? Give me a number. What percentage of guys are attractive, just in general in the world? Go. What percentage? 5%. What do you think, State? 5%. What do you think? The percentage of men in the world that are attractive. Go ahead.
We're 10.
10%. You are so fucking generous. And we thank you so much. What
I'll be generous and say 20.
20% of men are attractive. Jen, what percentage of men are attractive?
3%.
3% of men.
But can I say this real quick? Because there's a different rule of thumb, and I hope I'll see what the ladies say. But men fall in love with women they're attracted to. Women become attracted to the men that they love.
That's
okay.
true.
So
not necessarily.
But most women are not in, like most women will find a man that's not necessarily the hottest guy, because we know it's the person, but he could get in your head. He can make you feel good.
You know what?
He could charm you.
You're right, but I feel like that's part of the problem. Because we as women, and I talk to my ladies about this all the time, like it's okay for a guy to choose for looks and attractiveness and all this, but women, somehow it's more acceptable for those things not to matter to us, to let a guy grow on you. If you've got to start a relationship letting a guy grow on you, not fully being into him, not fully being attracted to him, you're already off on the wrong foot. You should absolutely want to bang that dude.
A little bit of context.
Say it again for the people in the back.
A little bit of context. Her boyfriend is the most attractive man in all of Clark County. Like it's not even.
Yeah.
Wait,
you've seen her boyfriend several times on billboards.
Yes.
Okay.
I got a good video to follow this up real quick.
No homo.
Let's watch
No
this.
homo.
Mostly just want to fuck, and a lot of them are ugly.
What do you mean a lot of them are ugly? What percent of them are ugly? Yeah.
Probably like 90% of guys are ugly.
You're not attracted to 90% of men.
Yeah.
You find 90% of men unattractive.
Yes.
Okay.
I have a question. What percentage of men do you find gross?
Gross? Maybe like 50%.
50?
Maybe more than that.
Of the age range that you prefer, what percentage of men do you find unattractive? So you said
90.
40, 50?
Gosh, I don't know, like 50%. I'd also say probably 90.
90%?
Mm-hmm. Maybe 95, honestly. Maybe more.
Probably like 70.
Please.
At least 90.
Do you guys think that you're top 10% women?
Looks wise?
Yeah, just looks.
Maybe like 20%.
You're top 20? Okay.
I would say yes.
Yes, top 20?
Top 10.
Top 10. Okay.
Yes.
You know what? She's not wrong. She's probably in the top 25 because she's not overweight.
Yes,
that's why.
So here's the thing: you guys understand? Jamie, everything she's saying is correct. But now I've got to be in the top 3% of men for women to want me to come and approach them. What the fuck? Do you guys understand how crazy that is? I'm not going to say the word delusional. There are several other podcasts you can go and listen to guys say that. I'm going to say the math doesn't work. We are going to be a population of under 100 million people in 30 years if that's what we're going to. One of the top 3% of men have to come and approach me, and then it's okay. Or we could do what I said before, which is have a little bit more of a communal dating environment and stop going on these stupid fucking dates. Anyway,
I hate to say this, but I think if a man has a big enough buck, she will fuck.
I don't. Okay,
that is true, and I hate to say that, but that is the way it goes.
Women, talking about money. Talking about money. Yeah. Oh, girl, I thought we were going somewhere else. I thought we were going somewhere else.
I was like, wait,
we're already going viral now, but that was.
It's the truth. A woman want men to be providers, like you said. No matter how much money women make, they want a man to make a little bit more.
Hey, can I just because I've heard you, I've watched some of your podcasts, and you and I have been friends for 6-7 years. You guys, there's a great book on this. It's called Why Women Have Sex by Cindy Meston and David Buss. And the variety of reasons why women like men is so much greater than the reasons why men like women. And you two are exactly what I'm talking about. How like your interest in men are for completely, there's so many more plays than a man can want.
I don't disagree with her, but there's more to it than that, right? You know, because what you're saying is true. They will absolutely compromise whatever if they've got more money. That's pretty common. You guys know that. We can all probably attest to that. But again, I'm hiding my Rolex. I do believe that most women are actually looking for love. Most women are actually looking for relationships, and they might get with a guy that is a provider. And yes, those things are high on the list for women, absolutely. But they will compromise things like attraction. They will compromise those things for things like financial stability, money, and whatever. And that still puts you in the category of divorce for me. Picking the wrong relationship, entertaining the wrong people. It sets you up for failure, even though you're looking for security needs. That's why I think, going back to my earlier point, why attraction really does matter for women.
Okay, but what happens, it doesn't even matter how hot the guy is initially or whatever. When you get married and after a few years, that polarity dies. So it's like, I feel like those things come.
Well, who says it dies? Like, who says that dies? Like, I mean, I was lucky enough to see my grandparents be madly in love with each other and still attraction. Now, I think it might change. It might not be the same, but like the way that we're measuring it now versus how we're going to measure it when we're 90, it's probably going to be still pretty compatible.
Right.
I got a super chat. This is a good segue here. Without equitable distribution of women for men, society cannot sustainably motivate men to maintain that foundational layer. That's what I was going to ask. I was going to sort of point your direction here too, because the reason why this is important is because there's also another conversation they're constantly blathering about the fertility rates right now and how they're below replacement. Guess what? They've been below replacement since 1975 in this country. So it's been below 2 children for a long time right now. So the time to bang that gong was way back in the 70s.
The other thing you talk about, when I was growing up, a lot of my friends at least looked up to the idea of joining the military. I did a boot camp the other day with my buddy Owen, a room full of people. And then you guys, my PA, he's an E9 in the Marine Corps. And then I'm a 03 in the U.S. Air Force. And they say, how many of you guys would be willing to die for your country? And then me and him just immediately rose our hand, like, duh, because we both grew up in the 80s. Of course you would die for your country. What are you talking about? Not a single dude in the room rose their hand. And it was just like, wait, what? I'm so confused. And then I realized they can't afford a house. Inflation has taken away all their earning power. Women aren't choosing them. They're not in the top 3% of men. There is no investment in the nation that they were supposed to protect. So of course they aren't going to.
80s was peak America. Everything is falling. Even if they were picked, if they are picked, it's like
except for HIV, it was peak America.
So what I was going to say is like, as far as the fertility rate thing is concerned, it's like all of this stuff is connected. Everything is attached to something else. Everything, it just syncs up. Okay. So when you look, we've just been talking about like sort of these 90% of guys are unattractive. Where we're at right now, as far as technology is concerned, is because we have social media, it is presenting women with this choice paradox right now. I can get better. Is he the best I can do? And so what happens is he cool enough for me to, like, you got to go check on Instagram. Is he cool enough for me to want to hang out with, kind of thing? So what happens is, and you probably heard this somewhere on the internet, that the average women do not want to get with average guys. They have to be elite. Marriage is for the elite. That's why we are at an all-time low in marriage rates right now. We are at 6.1 per 1,000 persons. That is as low as since they started recording it back in 1848. Okay, so what happens is when that's the case, when average men are undesirable by average women, and you have to be elite level for that guy. The guys who are in the middle, the guys who are the average guys, what Vox Day would call the delta males. These are the guys of the salt of the earth, right? There's the guys who go out and they're electricians, they're welders, they're working oil rigs. These guys have regular jobs.
Delta males are called?
Delta males, okay, not alphabet. So delta males are kind of like this,
like blue collar.
They're the blue collar guys who keep the lights on, who fill the potholes, who work in raw sewage, right? These are what they put in an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. And there used to be a social contract that if they did that, then they could be relatively sure that they were going to find an average woman who wanted to have average kids and have a golden retriever in the front yard and a nice SUV kind of thing, right? The problem is once you lose those delta males, when they say we're fucked because the social contract is average women don't want average men anymore. I have to be well above average to even like get the notice or be attractive enough for that woman in the first place. If you lose the delta males, that's when you lose society.
That's why they're not doing it because
that's why fertility rates go down, and that's why you see societal decay.
I have guy friends who are electricians and they lay sheet metal, and these guys are doing aluminum siding, and guys who are plumbers, and they're making so much more money now. It is crazy because nobody is invested to do those jobs. Here's the thing: if I'm an aspiring lawyer, I get more attention from women than if I'm a plumber who makes $700,000 a year and I own a bunch of trucks because of the perception. Lawyer being the top occupation that women find the most attractive, and it's a mismatch. It's a mismatch that happened. One other thing I wanted to talk about, remember the thing we talked about before, where women in general found 50% of men, they had a positive view of men, whereas men had 71% for women. For women that were educated, it was 31%. That 31% of them had a positive view of men. For women that did not go to college, it was 61% of women felt that way. And one of the reasons why that might be is because of earning potential, and also because college is not a place where you're being taught in courses that men are successful or anything other than Ted Bundy or Homer Simpson.
Or it's because they're less dependent. And they don't need to.
But that doesn't make you. But I'm not dependent on a woman to keep me from being safe going to the car. But I don't have a negative view of them because of that.
Well, it's like you're equating that with like a marriage stat, though. So like that was how you were measuring it.
No. But your viewpoint of men decreases because you went to college.
I think it's a lot to do with how you're treated. And again, there's always.
Okay, wait. Tell me specifically what that means. What is the stat there? Like, what are you measuring?
So it was working class women versus white collar women, and white collar women who had a bachelor's degree. 31% of them had a positive view of men. For women who did not go to college, it was 61%.
What does that mean? Positive view of men?
It's just it's a survey, and they probably had 7 points.
Like, I think men are positive. I think that's such a weird thing to measure. Like, how does one even measure that?
You just do a survey, like Pew Research would do a survey.
Or you could do like John from It's Complicated and go around Fremont and just ask random women, do we need men? And like every last one of these chicks is like, no. Fuck no. Okay, and they go and they ask the same question to guys like, do we need women? And they're like, oh, yeah, we love women. What are we talking about?
Okay, let's get to her thing.
Yes.
Now.
Let me get one more. Got some super chats here real quick. He says, hey, Michael and Rolo, love the show. Question for the panel. If all men disappeared tomorrow morning, would the ladies be able to maintain their community and society they live in every single day?
Butch lesbians exist for a reason, but
we'd figure it out.
I mean, we love men and we love that they build things and do things for us, and they are great.
I'd say if half of men disappeared right now, you and me would not be able to maintain society.
Well, fortunately, I know a really great guy, and his name is Aaron Clary, and he's written a book called A World Without Men, which explores exactly this. So if you would like to know, just go pick up that book, because he's an actuary, and he goes into all the numbers and like what would happen if men were gone for 1 week.
What about the island of Lesbos, where all the lesbians were?
The electricity for that island comes from men.
Yes.
Can we?
One last one. I genuinely trust both of your opinions. I have to ask, how the hell do I save my stubborn bros who are down? Or do I give up and come to terms with the fact that some of these guys don't want to do better?
Yeah, in general, most people are driven by average. Average is really, really easy place to go to. It's not a fun place, but it's a very easy place to go to. Average today is overweight. Average today is in debt. Average today is making under $65,000 a year as a man. Average today is addicted to vapes. Average today is addicted to marijuana. And you think that you're a sports bettor. That's what average today. Average today, you don't want to work hard, so you invest in crypto and think that it's going to go to the moon. That's what average today is. So you're right. The force of average does make a lot of men. It's a lot easier. Hey, man, I don't have to deal with women. I could just, jerk off to this one.
Average is convenient.
Average is very convenient. Listen, the beta males still get to eat. The beta males still get to eat. And every once in a while, they can take a trip to Colombia and have some fun. That's what the beta males get to do. So
average goes back to that victim mentality.
Sure.
I know we want to move on, but when you said that, I was like, I know I liked you because I used to preach about the victim. I used to coach full time.
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore because I couldn't deal with the victim mentality.
Yes.
I was like, I can't.
Because they almost want to stay there. Just like,
they want to stay
they
there.
want to stay and, they get addicted to their down.
Victimhood is an opiate. You have to think of it as an It is an opiate. There's
another one here. This is Steve. He's part of my Reignite group. Men these days are not as driven to higher paying jobs like women. Men have become too relaxed.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or dependent on women.
Okay, let's do it.
Too. So codependent for sure. Okay, so Jamie, why are you here?
Okay, guys.
Tell us why you're here.
I mean,
before I cue up this video for us, tell us why you're here.
All right. So I don't know if you guys saw the last Access Vegas that I was on. Maybe some of your viewers remember, but I came on as a critic of Sadia Khan. Sadia Khan is a well-known psychotherapist, or she presents as a psychotherapist online. She has a huge following on social media. She's been on every kind of podcast, every kind of show, every kind of everything, and she's known for giving life advice. And I think she is a fraud. So I started openly criticizing her along with some other influencers and people. And there's plenty of evidence to support that she is in fact not a psychologist. She is not a psychotherapist. She flips these labels around. She has abusive behavior online, which I've got tons of screenshots. She's been abusive to me online. She will call people fat. She will use pig emojis under everything. She misrepresents the use of her titles. I actually got her in a thread to admit to me that she was not licensed. And she played it off like it was no big deal, right? And I was like, you can't use the term psychologist and psychotherapist if you're not licensed. And then she calls you idiot and stupid. And fat, and then,
Who here is aware of Sadia Khan? Raise your hand if you are aware of Sadia Khan. That's impossible. You wow. All of you. Wow. Okay, good. All right, just want to make sure. Okay.
Well, good. This makes it easier.
Isn't she also a side chick?
Yes,
she is.
That's a true statement.
Side chick. That's a real job.
True statement. Yes,
that's a real job.
Everybody's like, play the sound drop.
Play the sound drop now. She does have a license for that. For being a side chick, she actually is qualified and licensed as. She is qualified to be a side chick for sure.
Yes.
My new ringtone.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I started making some content and doing a bit of research myself, and her degrees have been doctored. That's pretty well known now, along with her abuse online and then my own personal interactions with her. Anyway, my videos got noticed by her, and that's when she started attacking me. And I mean like absolute harassment and an obsession at this point, to where she started making false accounts. Now I had some fun with it, and I was like, all right, you want to make some fake accounts and like act like it's not you. It's so obvious that it's you, and I'm going to show the whole world that it's you. So that's exactly what I did. So you'll see kind of in this video how some things started and went about.
Let's go about this real quick. She's had 23 videos taken down, and now both of her accounts were permanently deactivated.
I want to get to that in a minute.
Ahead.
I want to set it up and then tell you what happened after.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Right. Is it this one?
Not
first?
the sharpest tool.
Oh, her. I
that
know
one.
she
That's a
is.
good one.
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
In the shed over here. This has got to be one of the dumbest things I've seen in a while, and I mean that clinically. Now, for those of you following this, you know that I've called Sadia Khan out for her bullying, her abusive behavior online, and just for her fraudulent degrees and educational background. Now, Sadia Khan has blocked me online, but she continues to troll me through her fake accounts. Now, I've got to walk you through some of this. So a couple months ago, I did an expose on how this is one of Sadia Khan's fake accounts. Go to my page, Pink Pill Therapy, if you want to see the expose video on that. Now, the account has since resurfaced on my page. It is the same username, different profile pic, but same nasty comments. Now, I wanted to dig a little deeper, so I looked at the account information, and you can see that it's a fairly new account, joined September 2025. Also, it's located in Dubai, and isn't that where Sadia Khan lives? Now, this account is not just trolling me, it's trolling other influencers like Goop, who have notoriously exposed her for her fraudulent and bad behavior. You can see that this comment was actually left under Dr. Jeff Rosenberg's video where he's seen doing a chiropractic adjustment on Goop. Now, I thought this was interesting and worth pointing out. In her recent troll, Sadia starts tagging another influencer called Jillian. She says she's got a way bigger platform and she doesn't even have a background in therapy or sociology. So she's saying, hey, Pink Pill, go take a look at her page. Basically, like, get off my back, right? Go look at her page. And then this is like the cherry on top. She says she gets away with it because she's not attractive. So they just assume she's smart. Now, if you're familiar with Sadia Khan's content, you know that she frequently positions herself as the target, saying that people criticize her for being too pretty. Now, it's pretty obvious what's going on here, but instead of getting stuck on that, let's take a look at the mindset of a person who behaves like this. Now, I would expect to see a lot of these things show up if somebody was struggling with NPD. For example, you've blocked somebody, but you continue to monitor them and harass them. Very egocentric, ego-driven behavior like I am better than you, a sense of superiority, entitlement, I'm just so pretty and that's why people hate me. There's zero insight and reflection, zero accountability, zero empathy. Also deflection like, hey, like go look at this person, like go focus on her. Honestly, this behavior is so transparent, and what is so interesting to me about NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, is that they don't know what they are a lot of times. Their cognitive level of awareness falls so far below their ability to have insight and introspection that they think that they're fooling the public. They think they're pulling the wool over people's eyes. My message to you, Sadia, is quite simple. Do you know who your audience is? Because I'm very clear on who mine is.
Okay, so I think that was the wrong video, but anyway.
I have the other ones
okay, yeah, I think so that's a little bit of kind of like our history, and you can see that she's trolling me from a fake account. Well, I did something. Why don't you pull up the next one, because this is the one where I can kind of show people what's been going on.
And you can stop me in the middle of it.
You guys understand when people come at you with fake accounts, you can actually see when the account was established, where it was established, and then sometimes there's unique identifiers like email addresses and phone numbers. So go ahead.
Hey everybody, here we go again. I just caught her in another lie. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, this is actually Sadia Khan trolling me from a fake account. And, you know, I expect this kind of behavior from Sadia Khan. This is a clear example of like narcissistic injury, but I did see something else interesting today. And that came from this account right here. So at the same time that Sadia Khan is defending me from her fake account up here, this other fake account pops up and also starts to defend Sadia Khan. Now, this account also doesn't follow me. You can go to their profile and see that they are also based in Dubai, which is, you know, where Sadia Khan lives. So there's that. But they have the same talking points, the same cadence, the same insults. So, I mean, it doesn't take a rocket science to figure it out. But I thought I'd take it one step further. So at the same time that this fake account, which is Sadia Khan, is
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, okay, so I think that was the wrong video again because my whole thing got messed up. What I end up kind of, you can just fast forward the video to the, like, can you fast forward it a little bit? Because I ended up repeating myself. Sorry.
If I may get up to speed, how did this even start?
I had Sadia Khan had been on my radar for a while, and her messaging, me being a licensed therapist, I was like, she's full of shit, right? Like, I just knew that she was full of shit, and there was something about her in my gut that just didn't feel right. And so it caused me to kind of review some of her content. Things that she was saying just didn't really align. If you're a licensed professional, you don't really do things like that. And I just felt like she was a grifter. Right. And so I was like, let me check her out a little bit, you know. There was something that happened later in that video that I wanted to compare, but when I was trying to save some of my
forward if you want.
Yeah, if you could scrub it forward just a little bit, because this is actually what's really important. When I was trying to save and download my content, some of it got a little like
saying, hey, Sadia, I know,
but this is the part right here. So yeah, if you could just rewind it just a little bit. So what we're about to kind of start at is right here. Okay, so I'm like, hey, this weird account popped up, and this account also doesn't follow me. They're doing the same thing that Sadia Khan is. Let me check this account out, and I'm calling them out too. I'm like, are you Sadia Khan? And they're like, what?
Both users in my comment section saying, hey, Sadia, I know that this is you, just like the jig is up basically, to which they're both like, what are you talking about? What? And you can go in my comment section and see for yourself. But I decided to do like a reverse search basically to see like if I plug their username in Instagram and I act like I forgot my password, what phone number would each account direct me to? And you can see that each one of these accounts, when you plug it into Instagram, goes back to the exact same phone number. So these accounts are in fact related. And you can see I've done a deep dive on this account over here to, you know, prove that it is Sadia Khan. So if that's Sadia Khan, this is Sadia Khan. Now let's talk about the mindset of Sadia Khan because it is fascinating.
Yeah. Okay, so so she was enraged when this came out. Okay, because and like I specialize in narcissistic abuse. Okay, and so she is, you know, she certainly has a lot of traits and tendencies that mirror that, and I have a passion for not dealing with that. I don't think that people should tolerate that. I think that you need to be free from stuff like that. And I don't think that people in positions of power like her should be giving any type of mental health advice at all. They need to be exposed. And that comes at a great cost, which is where I am now. So she's been trolling me for months and months and months. But what happened recently was a complete attack on myself and my accounts. So a few days ago, I started receiving messages. You can pull up some of the like account clips if you want. Saying copyright infringement, take down video. And I had about 32 videos removed in the span of about 5 minutes. And this wasn't actually content that had to do with her. This was on my personal Instagram. And this was also on like my professional, my Pink Pill Instagram, where I even had like a video of an egg in my fridge. And that was taken down for copyright infringement, right? So everything was being targeted. So I had a reason to suspect that it was her. And so I decided to investigate more. And when Rollo kind of pulls up the clips, you'll see like how much this actually impacted me. Well, when you start kind of researching who's reporting, there's a section on there where you can explore who filed the report. And these reports were all filed in the span of a minute by a company called Mark Scam and iApex. And so what Instagram these are just, you know,
those are the videos I got took down.
Well, my whole Instagram got took down now, but I had probably over 100 things of content removed. Some of it was her, some of it was my own, but every single video I had of her was taken down, and it was false copyright claims. So what I assume happened is that there was a third-party company, Mark Scam and iApex, was hired to take down my account. It was a complete annihilation after this video came out. And in addition to that, this is actually really interesting. I started receiving notifications on my Instagram saying, "Are you okay? Somebody thinks that you need help." And then I started getting warnings from Instagram saying, "You need to stop posting about self-harm. You're posting, somebody is worried about you," right? And this is very typical of narcissistic abuse, right? They gaslight you. They make the world think that you're crazy. They try to change the narrative, and you can see it happening in real time. Mind you, I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. This is what I do for a living. This is my livelihood. And she attacked me where it would hurt the most, right? Where I have the most credibility. The thing that she wants the most is where she's coming at me the most, right? So in addition to, because these things happen within such a short window, Instagram closed my account. No consideration. Everything was gone. And that to me was so alarming, that your freedom can be taken away. My freedom of speech was taken away. My rights were taken away. And I was allowed to be abused by the system, and she was allowed to abuse the system. And nobody called. There was no consideration for me, my content. Nobody even checked to see what was going on. And that is a problem with not only Meta, Instagram, Facebook. It is a problem with people in positions of power that continue to support Sadia Khan and put her on podcasts and promote it. And because she's a coward, and because she can't stand on her own 2 feet, and because she couldn't beat me intellectually, she tried to silence me.
So one of the things I'd like to do is, if you guys are out there and you made a lot of content, and by the way, you could have 100 followers on Instagram. She is petty white, bro. She's Tom Petty. She will come after you. White. She doesn't give 2/10 of a shit. She will come after this. She came after me one time. It wasn't that nasty, but she did. She misrepresented me one time. And I will tell you guys, if you are someone you know, because what I'm trying to get, you have a conversation with John Dorsey's attorney. If you or someone you know is having their accounts flagged because they've made content about Sadia Khan, I would love for all of us to be able to get together. And so when this happens, we have enough of a voice. If it's enough of us have a voice, and we go on enough podcasts and talk about this, we can finally stop this shit, because this is ridiculous. One of the things that I've said this a million times, that if social media is as big as it is and as powerful as it is, it needs to be treated as a utility in this one sense. First Amendment protections. If they're going to take away your account, they have to prove that your account needs to be taken away. No matter what happens, if I file an appeal, it's not for me to have to prove that my account shouldn't be taken away. It's for you to prove that my account should be taken away. And because they're lazy and because they're using AI algorithms in order to do this, well, if that many people reported Jamie Lynn, then it must be true. That is lazy. It is intellectually lazy. It is neglectful, and it is circumventing the free speech of Americans when you do this, especially when you're doing this in service of a woman who does not have a fucking license, and she's sitting there acting like she does and tries to silence anyone who calls into question. Remember what I said before about the 62 million men? There's a bunch of content creators now that if you correct them on that 62 million number, now they're making content and reporting you and talking about you're promoting grape culture. No, that is not how freedom of speech works. I think Sadia Khan should be allowed to say as much stupid shit as she wants, and then she has to pay for it in the end. That's how freedom of speech works. Beautiful.
Yes. So the thing that is like honestly very shocking is that not only is she abusing the system, she continues to abuse people, and there have been no repercussions for her. And so this cost me a lot. This cost me everything, actually, to raise awareness to this. And now I don't have a platform. Now I can't speak. And she has effectively, in this current moment, silenced me. And so I'm out here doing things to try to get it back. Should I have to fight for this? No. Did I do anything wrong? No. But our system protects and actually promotes abusers. And I've got a big problem with that.
Yeah. I was going to say, I just got hacked. I mean, granted, it was my fault for following a phishing attack, but I was going to say I lost my Twitter account for about 5 days. And I'm happy to say I got it back. I'm glad I know the right people to get it back. But I do understand this is like my account is at 186,000, and I have been working on that and putting that together. I didn't realize just how valuable that account is. And literally, I knew the guy was going to ask me for ransom. Of course, he ransomed. He wanted 10 grand for it. He was DMing
3 people
me.
Quoted me 10 grand.
Yeah. So you want it back 10 grand. And I was thinking about that because the guy ended up taking he ended up hacking my account and then impersonating me to promote a fake meme coin using my name, saying that I was the one who was fronting this new meme coin, right? And I have people they know me better than that because I work with Miguel and the rest of these guys for Cultivate Crypto and everything. But the thing is that they thought that would be a good idea. And the link would lead to a cloned version of my blog site. So this was already pre-planned. They knew what they were going to do the moment that I fucked up, right? And so that happened. And then on top of that, he's still impersonating me again with a fake tokenized version of my book, using my trademarked book and everything. So you got to remember that. I mean, a lot of people are going to say, well, this is just chick fight. This is just bitches, it's a cat fight or whatever. I'm like, no, it's not. It's a lot. It's a lot more serious than that and I know this because I have to protect my trademarks. Yes. Okay. All of my book, anything that says Rational Male, you'll see the little registered R on there. I've owned the trademark since 2015. And I'm glad I do because now I have some recourse for it. So whenever there's a pirated version of my book on Amazon, instantly got it. I have just this week, I had somebody who took these AI apps will essentially build a book for you, like 97-page book, and they title it The Rational Male, and they throw it up there, and they're going to get taken down. They know I'm gonna see it, but in the week or two that that it's up there, they're going to make some money off of it.
I didn't realize how predatory this could be. It's my first time actually experiencing something like this, where I really believed, I think this was the part that was so disappointing for me, is I actually had faith in the system. I spent time on every single appeal. I provided evidence and support, and Instagram just deactivated me. No question, no call, no nothing. And anybody can false report anything. We have to do something to, number one, protect ourselves, but also I was protecting the public. This isn't a cat fight. She's a fraud.
Yeah.
And all I'm doing is speaking the truth, and you can label it whatever you want, but she's the coward.
Yeah.
Correct answer.
I'm trying to I was going to say, and also it's technically stolen valor is what it is. is she's pretending to be a psychologist is what she's doing.
She wants to be me.
Exactly. I was just thinking that in my head. I was like, she literally
does.
She wants to wear you like a skin suit.
She wants to be me.
Mhm.
It's so funny because if you look at her commentary to any girl that is out objectively beautiful, okay, she hates them. She hates them, and yet she has all this public content saying, "Oh, women are so jealous of me." She's the one, mind you, she's so blind to her own behavior and her own ignorance. She's the one creating fake accounts. She's the one stalking and actually harassing. And I don't use those terms lightly. There is evidence to support stalking and harassment. Those are legal terms. Okay. Those come with liabilities. And there's plenty of evidence to show that she's got a pattern of behavior. There's even an email where she told somebody they should off themselves. And this is coming from a professional, and people are still circulating her around. And it's like, where is the accountability? And this kind of circles back to a point that I wanted to make earlier when you guys were talking about why do things like this happen? Why does Grape Academy go through? You know why? It's because people lack critical thinking. And the number two reason is they're lazy. She gets to pop on here and say she's a psychotherapist, and nobody, not one person checked her credentials. I don't have the luxury to do that. When I go somewhere, I've got to show who I am. I have to prove myself. How did she get this far? There should be everybody should be losing their shit over this. And everybody that had her on their show, you are just as culpable and liable for this abuse and for any harm that she causes the public.
Soft white underbelly. That's who should have checked her out the gate.
There's so many. There's so many A-list podcasts that have had her on there and just
I've called 7 million on there.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's honestly, it's really disgusting. And you guys just circle jerk people around on your shows, and there's no accountability. And I mean, quite frankly, who are you guys to even be like, who are you guys to even have people on your show? What's your credibility?
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, I'm glad. Well, listen, one more time. If you contact me on Instagram, if you're a person who's had your videos reported because you made critical content about Sadia Khan, please contact me. I will try to pass it along. I would like for everyone who's in that boat to try to come together and maybe, make some difference when it comes to other content creators trying to get your stuff banned. You pay enough money, you can hire some organization to mass report you. This used to be way more common back in the day. I think it's a little harder to do it now than it used to be, but this is definitely something I think the situation with Jamie is, Jamie did not have a humongous account, but what she was saying was so surgical. And it was so immutable and so undeniable, because I saw it. I was like, yeah, there's no way she's going to get out of this. It was so surgical, much like what Abba and Preach did to her, which was absolutely just eviscerate her. That's the reason why. But Abba and Preach are such big content creators that they probably have a contact at YouTube. Whatever, they're some of the biggest content creators in the world, so they don't have to worry about this as much. But I would hope that they would pick up this story. I would hope even someone like Myron Gaines would pick up this story. I would hope that someone like Goob would pick up this story about all the content creators that are being deplatformed because Sadia Khan does not like the critical content.
To take down Goob as well.
I actually
I'm sure she has.
I have some new information actually that I just got from Dr. Taylor Burrows that she was messaging me today, because I have to find all these crazy ways to communicate with people now. But anyway, she reached out to me today because she's been advocating on my behalf, as you guys have been. So thank you. And there was a comment that she posted under, I think, one of Goob's videos, and I don't want to misquote her, so give me 1 second. She said, have you heard what happened to Pink Pill Therapy? She had, basically an account did a whole internet takedown, and then she started tagging some people. And there was a person that responded, and this person is the holder of one of these companies. And he goes, Sadia Khan reached out to me to do this to people. And he goes, and I would not do it. So it is reasonable for me to assume that she is behind this. I also know that the person that has been working on my current situation, I don't want to give too much away. He's very familiar with her in the IT world. And what he had reported to me is that, oh yeah, that's who she always uses, quote unquote. So I know I'm not the only victim. I don't know who the other victims are, but if you are a victim, please get in touch with me. There are other ways to get in touch with me. Just DM the show and I'll let you know how. I don't want that to get taken down too.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Incredible.
Let's do that Kate Hudson video. Let's do Call Her Daddy, because I really want to keep on this thread because I thought this was good, but there you go.
About Danny. Yeah, because Danny, he's just such a good man, and I'm not so sure I was like attracted to the good man. I mean, I was attracted to good men, but like, you know, that the uncomplicated kind of, I liked a feisty, wild type. And whereas Danny has that in him, his values are very sturdy, and he's such a lovely person. And
Okay, I'm gonna frame this question a little differently. Okay, let's start. Stephanie, you're down there. You guys who haven't spoken as much, you have a son. We're not gonna phrase this for yourself. You have a son. You're trying to give your son a roadmap on how to navigate dating women. Essentially, your son is being told by Disney and the church and by like the social media that he needs to be himself. He needs to be supernatural. Go up to women, tell them that he's attracted to them, and be this super nice, caring, empathetic guy. And then this shit keeps coming out over and over again. One woman after another going on the feminist podcast of record, Call Her Daddy, over and over again, being like, I really wasn't attracted to nice guys. I wanted guys that were more feisty. And then also going through life, seeing women say, I really want a guy who's kind to me. Tell me about your last 4 boyfriends. They were all narcissists. This incredible dichotomy. You have a son. What are you going to tell your son to try to navigate this?
So I do have a son.
Okay.
He is 10 years old, and he is the sweetest thing ever. He was raised to pick flowers, open doors.
Okay.
And that's kind of hurtful, you know, like I would want him to continue doing that. I would want him to continue doing those things. But for me, I would say that hopefully one day he just finds someone who actually appreciates him.
Okay, good luck. I think maybe here's an idea, just something to consider. It's your son. You raise him how you want. Consider this. How about he doesn't show interest in a woman until she shows some interest in him? How about that? How about he reserves his vulnerability for someone who's earned it? I will tell the guys I served with in the military, if I'm going through something, I'm going to tell them. I've been friends with Jamie for 6 years. I'll tell her the day I met her, I'm not going to go, hey, you know what? Like you're doing like lat pull downs or whatever. I'm like, I'm really having a hard time with this girl. You would think I'm a fucking weirdo. Like, why can't we just wait to be vulnerable with people who deserve it in our lives? How about we do that instead? What do you think, Stephanie? Well, how would you tell your son to navigate this current dating market, listening to Kate Hudson and Nikki Glazer and all these other women going on Call Her Daddy talking about, I don't like the nice guy? What would you do?
That's really hard. I do agree that nice guys do finish last. I do agree with that. And that's the same thing for women. And I would say if I had a son and raising him in today's market, I would just say, just be the best version of yourself and take care of yourself and your family. That would be my best advice. And then just treat others how you want to be treated. But also there's a difference between nice and kind. So, and there's a difference between being egotistic and having confidence and being respectful. So there's a say to that.
Celeste, what would you do? How would you manage this with your son? You are, first off, who here, ladies, doesn't see the mixed messages that men get? You don't see? You don't see. You do see. Okay, you do see. So all of raise your hand if you do see that men get mixed messages. We're told we want nice, sweet. If we're nice, sweet, fun guys, we're super empathetic and kind, and we buy you gifts before our first date because that's what our fucking matchmaker told us to do. And we get on dating apps and we go right up to you and be like, "Wow, I find you really attractive. Would you like to go on a date with me?" But I'm not a top 20% good-looking man. Who here recognizes you're getting mixed advice right now and it's fucking confusing? What would you do? What would you tell your son?
Speaking of the same thing that you were saying, like just be the best, person you could be, and like hopefully, the right person finds you.
Yeah, there's just no way. There's just no way when men are getting like 17 times less matches on dating apps that you could just be the best person you could be. It doesn't. You understand what I'm saying? They're just. I think you could be the best person. You're going to be ignored by almost every woman.
Not to play devil's advocate, but we tell little girls like, well, if the boy's being mean to you, then he likes you.
Well, that's probably true.
That's what.
Here, let me straighten this up. Let me straighten this up for all you ladies. If you're really attractive, he likes you. That's it. Ready? I just fixed it all. No more miscommunication. If you're really attractive, they all like you. I don't.
Yeah, but if he's being mean to you, then he's like, that's what they're teaching girls in grade school. Well, like that little boy was mean to me. It's just because he likes you. It's just because he likes you. That's like a verbatim thing that like. We were all grown up. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Like we all have done that. So it's like we're training little girls to be like, okay, well, if he beats my ass.
I'm gonna quote Rich Cooper just briefly right here. Okay. We
he likes me the most then.
We teach our girls to do what's right for them, and we teach our boys to do the right thing.
Sure. What do you think
between those two?
What do I think?
Yeah. Do you can you possibly understand that men might be getting a mixed message when it comes to what women find attractive?
Yeah, I do. But I think it's because most people, men and women, don't have a sense of who they actually are. So for me, I have a son, and I'm just straight up with him. Be in the top 5. Like, be a man, be a great picker. You know, have a great sense of who you are, have character and integrity, and just don't fall for any woman. Be intentional about who you want. And that's it. It's like, go to the places where you're going to meet quality women.
Can I ask you, would it also behoove him to be more attractive?
I honestly,
after everything you heard here today,
really don't think
I'm
going to stand 10 toes down on this. The attraction, I get what you're saying as far as women want to be attracted to men, but it's a different level of attraction. It doesn't necessarily mean he's the perfect bodybuilder, perfect physical guy. Attraction is has a different meaning for women.
So let's say be the funniest, most charismatic, in best shape
I would
version
say
that's professionally viable.
I'm going to tell you the secret
relevant
sauce.
and competent.
My opinion, the secret sauce is have some emotional intelligence.
Again, while I totally understand that having emotional intelligence would make you an incredible partner, incredible husband, incredible father, I totally understand that. I totally understand that. But that is not why women want to have sex with you.
That is not true. You can get into a woman's head.
Not initially.
She won't even talk.
She might not want
even talk to you.
But she might not want to have sex with you today, but she might.
But I'm going to tell you, like, the key to success, in anything is delayed gratification. And people are not patient about this.
Let's not be in a relationship. Let's be outside of the relationship. Let's be two people who've never met each other. You just met the dude, and it's emotional fucking maturity. That's the reason why she's going to have sex with him? No, it's not. It's just not true.
Are we talking about like a fling, like a one night
we're not talking about fling. We're not talking about fling. We're not talking about substance. We're not talking about one night stands. We're talking about the beginning. We're just talking about the beginning. And in the beginning, the idea that emotional intelligence is the reason why women are going to sleep with men is hokum. There is no way you can believe that.
You are saying things vague. Okay. It depends on what you're specifically talking about. If you're talking about a guy just getting laid, it's a different conversation.
Relate or anything. In the beginning, getting laid, in the
like
beginning,
Genesis beginning,
no, in the beginning of the relationship, when we first meet each other, you're not trying to sleep with a guy because of his emotional intelligence. In the beginning, you're not. If you believe that, listen.
No. What I'm saying for me, and I can only speak on my behalf, is you got to do a little bit more than just show up with a cute smile to get me to sleep with you.
But those things, so relevancy, competency, humor, charisma, pre-selection, social proof, those kinds of things, access, those things.
That's summarizing emotional intelligence.
Correct. Well, no, not exactly.
It
I don't think relevancy and competency are summarize emotional intelligence, but what I'm saying is they do summarize attraction. And my point is, and also physical attraction, like physical physique, etc. Those things are the reason when I asked the question, what I got was, here's what would make a good partner, and here's what would make a good husband, and here's what would make a good dad. And what we were asking is, what makes you want to have sex? And these are two different questions. And because women don't understand, grasp that question, this is why it's so confusing.
It's not to have all that and still be a douchebag, and right away you can clock the fact, okay, you're good looking, your status, this and that.
Good looking douchebags, and women don't have sex with good looking douchebags.
Yeah, like beta chicks. But like not a woman. Not a woman.
Women will have sex because they're horny. Women will have sex because they're lonely. Women will have sex. I mean, let's talk about why women will have sex.
Correct.
If you want to answer the question.
And women will not have sex with the bottom 60% of men. Correct.
It depends.
No, it doesn't depend. That's the data.
I'm telling you, it depends on the woman.
Okay, some women, I'm sure,
it really does.
Will give enough of a chance.
I feel like women will have sex with the one who gives them a hard time to get it.
Okay, well that sounds a lot. That sounds a lot different from emotional intelligence. That sounds like pre-selection and social proof and being relevant and competent. That seems like a lot of very different answer from emotional intelligence.
It is emotional intelligence. He's got to have game.
Game is not emotional intelligence.
So yeah,
I think
there needs to be a separation between those.
I think the two biggest factors that kind of influence whether a woman will be intimate with a man are these two things. I'm attracted to you sexually,
aroused by you,
and also, do you have money?
Okay, thank you, Myron. God damn, I did not expect that. That is beyond.
Okay, I was
making a point, and she went beyond my point.
Welcome to the dark side.
Wow,
haven't I? No, I still disagree with you guys on plenty, but I have to like, if we're just talking about those two things, I think it is hard for women to kind of say that, yes, those things matter, but we've kind of already did say they do matter a little bit, right? Now that's I think where women kind of bleed into this is they think love relationships and that's a totally separate thing. That's where things like emotional intelligence and these things, that's when those things ping really, really high. You know, a woman will sleep for, you know, gain, money, whatever, like sexuality, whatever, but that those are not the things that keep her committed. Those
Agreed.
are not the things that help her fall in love. And yet, you know, we tend to answer that question from our own perspective, right? How we the things that we value, things like emotional intelligence and things like that. But I think that it's very tough for women to acknowledge that attraction does matter and that sexuality does matter and that liking your partner matters. And to your point, when I talk about these things, I like the word using attraction because it's more than just physical.
Right. Yes.
When
Agreed.
And that matters in commitment and relationships, right? But that's not the number one reason that you'll sleep with a dude.
So one more time. I do not. The question there's
about sex.
What the question. Absolutely. When I ask women, ladies, ready, real quick. Who thinks it's attractive for a man to be loyal? Raise your hand. Who's think it's attractive for a man to be loyal? Cool. Who here knows a man who's had sex with women who wasn't loyal? Whoops. Being loyal is not attractive. I'm going to say it again. Being loyal is not attractive.
Wait, I don't know. I don't think that you measured that correctly. Like that's such a large leap that's a large leap to kind of connect those two dots together.
I've asked this question hundreds of times to hundreds of women, and they all say being attractive is loyal. And then I asked them, being loyal is attractive. And then I asked them, have you or anyone you know dated a man who wasn't loyal? And all of them said yes.
Okay, but the opposite of that doesn't mean that is still not
no,
attractive to women.
What it means is loyalty is not a requisite for attraction, but loyalty is a requisite for a good parenting household. It is a requisite for a healthy security. It is a requisite for a great relationship. It's a requisite for a good father.
Long-term attraction.
Yes.
My point is, when I asked the question, I was asking what makes you want to have sex with someone, and loyalty is not what makes you have sex with a man.
No one said that.
Being attracted to
Yes, she just did.
We said loyalty.
Yes, loyalty does not make you want. Loyalty is not an attractive quality. It's a comfort quality. It's a quality that's tremendous in a relationship.
So I think when we talk about attraction, we have to separate two things: sexual attraction versus just attraction in general.
That's my point. So
let me clarify this because I make a clear distinction in all of the books I've written. Okay, there's a difference between attraction and arousal. Okay, and I try to separate it as best I can because people always mix up attraction with physical. What kind of attraction are we talking about? If you ask a woman what you want in a guy, 90% of the time she's going to say he's got to be loyal, he's got to love puppy dogs, he's got to have a good mom, he has to have kids in the future, he's got to have a good job, he's got to be funny, he's got to like Disneyland and rainbows and all this long-term stuff that she would see in a guy who would be a good long-term prospect for her to go into the future with and start a family with. Right. If you ask a woman what body parts of a guy do you think I'd like really get you going, right? A V taper, he's got to have visible abs, visible serrates, he's got to have, big shoulders, he's got to have big guns like that. If you look at that, he's got to have a 10-inch dick, whatever it is. Those physical aspects are what get the blood flowing right there. So there needs to be a distinction between arousal and attraction. And we keep just mixing them up.
Well,
like
I think that terminology makes it a lot clearer and probably easier for us to answer if you define it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I think we're all I don't think that any of us are actually really disagreeing on this.
Yeah.
I just think the language around it gets a little muddy.
Yes, my point is, most women most of the time are having sex with men and they don't know if the guy's loyal or not, and they're still having sex with them. So loyalty does not create arousal.
That's why I said it depends on what you asked the question in reverse, but to be more specific, but the way to easier answer that question for men would be what are the reasons why women want to have sex with men is to understand that, because there's different reasons why women are out there wanting to have sex.
Right. No, correct. Yeah. But my point was when women are surveyed about what the most attractive qualities in men are, they say reading astrology, gardening, multiple languages, piano playing, going to therapy.
That's a different question than sex.
No, but when we were asking the question, when the question was asked, they were literally asking what would make you want to have sex with a man, and they wrote astrology or astronomy. It's like ridiculous. No, this is not true. This is not why women do not want to sleep with men because they speak multiple languages and they read. I read 45 books a year. Women do not give a shit that I read. I am an actual amateur astronomer. I can point to all Ganymede, Io, Callisto, and Europa, the 4 moons of Jupiter.
Some women find intelligence sexy.
I agree. Again, I agree with that. While I agree with it, I agree with that. My point is, initially, for me to get to the point where they see that, they've got to already be attracted to me before that. And so my point is that we've gotten men to focus on the wrong things, and then they see Kate Hudson over here being like, I don't really like the nice guy. Wait. That's what you told us, is that you wanted the. It's so asinine. Not for me. I figured this out 25 years ago. For my clients, these guys were just sitting there. They were sold a bill of bullshit, told how they would get a girl by getting the master's degree, wearing the pull down, whatever it's called, the the button down, going to the right country club, having the right friends, going to the right college, and then they would deserve a good girl because of that, because that's what Disney told them. That's what Disney. And my whole point was, then I see a bunch of dudes who, like, you know what? They make it a little hard for girls to get their attention. Disney, they play hard to get. They come off a little scummy, even like a little bit of a player, a little hard to get. They see other women chasing him, and those guys are getting the girls that the good guys were trying to chase after.
But are those good girls?
Who cares? No, I'm not going with you on this one. I'm not going with you on this one. This idea that all of a sudden when the narrative changes, then it's good girls and bad girls. Women and men are attracted to certain attractive qualities. I'm not saying that at different times in your life you can't be attracted to different things, but my point is the idea that it's it's just bad girls that like men who have high status or play hard to get. No, it's not. It isn't. In general, there's certain things that are more attractive than other things. In general, and loyalty isn't one of them. That's my point.
I think we all need to watch. I think you would know what year it was. Remember the Discovery Channel, The Science of Sex Appeal?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Oh my God, I have to send it to you. It's awesome. It was literally just everything we were talking about. It goes purely on arousal. Like these people, they would put them all wearing the same thing. They would cover their hair, and people match. Like, let's say you were considered like a 6, just based on your physical appearance. They tended to match with other people that were in the same caliber of them. However, what got really interested, they took sweaty T-shirts and they put them in the smell
pheromones.
and like, you know, if it was like your brother or something, you were like, oh hell no.
Yeah, you could smell that you're related. There's another.
Go ahead. This is really good. So to your point, I actually, when I was in school, we actually watched that study occur, the original study where they took their T-shirts, and the other part that they are leaving out of that study is this. They looked at body types. Okay. And this is really interesting. They looked, and they would assign a geographical shape to body types. Do you know the number one body type that everybody picked was the fucking triangle?
Yeah, V-taper.
That's what everybody picked, right?
And when they smelled the shirt, it smelled like Anavar and Trimble.
Smells like
it smells like testosterone.
Do you know why the pheromone thing worked? Because it was actually genetically linked. It was a DNA thing. So each one of that study ended up pairing off into somebody that was most genetically opposite.
Yes,
opposite.
That's anytime you have a 2-gender species, you want genetic variety.
So the one that had the most variety is the one that everybody picked. The ones that were most similar were unattractive.
Okay, so
and that's why birth control messes up pheromones.
So
it definitely does a lot of stuff like that.
Let's go back to what we were talking about. What makes someone attractive? So there's one of my favorite studies of all time. They took like 270 women and they showed them the faces of these men, and then they had them rate the physical attractiveness of these man's faces. And then afterwards, they took a second group of women. They showed them the exact same group of faces, but they showed them the ratings from other women. But these weren't real ratings. These were ratings that these other women gave them an 8, a 9, a 10. And guess what happened when the women had to rate those second group of men and seeing the other women's ratings? They went higher. Fucking loyalty? No, bro. You shouldn't be a player. Women won't like that. Like, listen, I don't think that men should be a player. But what I'm saying is the fact that other women are attracted to you does make women attracted. I never hear women admit this. I never hear women say, well, it's actually the fact that all these other women were staring at him was the reason why I
feel
liked
like because that's pick me mentality. It's like, oh wait, what if he picks me out of that group? And that comes from a place of insecurity.
I don't know if it comes.
So what I was going to say is like the qualities that make for an arousing guy also come with some character attributes as well. So if you got a guy who's like really good looking and women can all see that this guy is the best looking motherfucker in this club right here, and they want to get with him. Women want a guy who other men want to be, and other women find attractive, want to get after it with. So those characteristics tend to conflict with the characteristics that make him a good long-term prospect. So when we're talking about loyalty is not necessarily sexy, but it's certainly comforting, and it's certainly a part of the long-term security side of things. But it's not going to make him look any hotter when his shirt comes off at the beach. Okay,
Right.
so those two, the character attributes of the hot guy, who we might say is a narcissist, we might say he's like, he's got a dark triad personality traits just because he looks good, but it might be because women want to get with that one guy, right? Because there's more women that are competing for that guy. So there's a sense of urgency, there's a sense of dread, there's competition anxiety that goes with that guy. All of the things that made that dude sexy don't make him sexy when he's on for a long-term security prospect. But the guy who's got he's a dad, he's a good long-term security prospect, he's not as fun, he's not as exciting as the Brazilian helicopter pilot that you wanted to fuck in a club. That guy right there.
Look at the emotional maturity of his shoulders.
It boils down to confidence.
It boils down to timing is what it is. Because when a woman goes through from like 18 to 28, she's like, that's the hoe phase right there. And then so when she gets to 29 years old, that's when it's like, I gotta settle down, man. My mom wants grandchildren, and I gotta start thinking of the future.
Look at the loyalty in that Richard Mille he's wearing. Look how loyal it looks.
Richard Mille. Yeah. I think confidence is where it's at. I think women will have sex with confident men.
Yes, and you know where confidence is derived from?
And usually
options.
The guy who they take better care of themselves.
I know some guys who don't take care of themselves at all. The guy who super arrogant. The guy who has options. The guy who has other options. That guy can get away with fucking murder because he knows that if it doesn't work out with you, it works out with somebody
all of us
else.
Girls have seen beautiful women with ugly men, but he has got this swag or some kind of way about him that make women like curious and intrigued by him. And he's not necessarily like the ideal aesthetic, but he just he exudes a level of confidence. And so I think women feel safe with that. It's sexy. And I think that's what it boils down to.
I think there's a difference between being confident and being cocky, because a lot of guys are douchebags just because they think they're the shit.
Right.
And
the douchebags get laid.
Because I feel like a real confident man doesn't need to say too much. He doesn't need a flex. But some dudes, they be doing the most just like for their own ego. And imagine how he's going to cheat a girl. He's going to be selfish as fuck.
Yep.
And you'll love him just the same.
Wait,
I got one more. Let's speaking of which, here's Hillary Duff, our follow on for this.
That's not really a thing.
So you thought it was like almost a red flag that he was too nice?
I think I was just like not ready to accept all of that yet. I was like coming out of that, like a long relationship, a divorce. Like I was just like chaotic.
Yeah.
I think I needed some chaos first.
Yes. Meeting a nice guy that's actually going to treat you well. You're like, wait, can you pause for 2 seconds?
Yeah.
Let me
I'll
get my
be
shit
back.
together and I'll come back.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, wait.
So that is what I mean right there.
You know, ironically, Call Her Daddy has basically like it's the manosphere. It's the feminist podcast of record that is actually working against feminism. Like literally, women are going on there and they feel so incredibly comfortable to just say what they're actually feeling that they sound red pilled. Like that's what's happening on the show. We can show you one girl after another going on there like, yeah, I like when other women want to have sex with my man.
Nikki Glaser.
Yes. Like what? Wait, what?
She's a cuck. She's a cuck queen.
I was told that wasn't how this is. I was told that you need to be nice. And they have one movie star after another going up there and being like, I need a little bit of chaos in my life right now. Is it because they're all damaged? No, it's just the human condition. It's not damaged. It's just the human condition. We want what we can't get. And it doesn't mean that we're going through some psychological trauma, or maybe we all have trauma. Maybe that's what it is. But the idea that it's just unhealed women, those are the only ones chasing after the bad boys. No, I'm sorry. I don't think that's the truth at all.
You're looking at me like I said something. No. I didn't even say anything.
No, you did say what kind of women.
I have an opinion about it, but it doesn't matter. It's too long.
Can we do this one?
Let's see. Oh yeah, sure.
This is a huge change in direction here.
Oh God!
Hey, if somebody wants to take a break, I forgot. She actually she sat down on the beach. Anyway, let's do this real quick.
Of course, everybody has.
And why didn't you tell me? I thought these American girls were just losing weight with willpower. And I was doing it on my own. Mira, look what I got.
Oh my goodness, where did you get that?
Your father, he has diabetes. How could I be so lucky? At the pharmacy that I like the Spanish one, Mira. Look what they gave me. Everyone's getting little vials, but not me. I'm going to beat them at their own game. Mira, it's called tripeptides and tricipetides. I don't know, but I'm so excited. I don't like needles, so you're going to give me a little stick, okay?
No, I don't want to do
Please, I want to be skinny, please. You have to stick me. Okay, Mira, I'm going to give you a little bit up here. I mean, it says you have to
need that. Why would
but
you
of
do
course
that?
I don't need it. I'm perfect. My body's perfect. I know that it's not the point. I want to be skinnier. Always. Since the day you were born. You ruined my perfect body. I'm so proud of you for not giving into things like that. You know what I mean?
So why are you doing it?
I hold myself to a higher standard. I didn't ask your opinion. It could be really like that. I won't even feel it. Apparently, you don't feel a thing. Been there before, am I right? Just kidding. I'm crazy. Come on, let's do it. We'll have a needle party.
Oh my goodness. That was good.
You guys like that?
She's good. Yeah.
Real quick, question. What do you think that Ozempic has done to the divorce rate? Go ahead.
I believe it's gone up, and I can do this from 2 points. Number one, what people, women's confidence or men's confidence goes up. However, on the other side of it, it also, they're doing more clinical trials with this right now. It interferes with your serotonin and dopamine receptors. A lot of people they're showing it's kind of like an SSRI. You're not as horny on it. And people are finally talking about that. I feel like, last year was all the rage.
You know what I think that could
you got to move to Reddit.
You want to?
Yeah, no, I heard Reddit agonist. That's actually just as bad. But
Okay, so you want to know why I think that might be? Because your hormones come from what? What produces the hormones? Where does the actual?
Pituitary gland.
No, it's cholesterol in your blood. Yeah. So you're eating next to nothing, and it's crap. So again, when guys diet, and this is the reason why they're taking anabolic steroids, because they can maintain high testosterone levels even though they're not consuming hardly as much cholesterol. And so that's what's going on here, I think, as well, is that people's libidos are crashing because they're just not eating enough food. Which is what's going on here. But anybody else?
I heard Retta makes you not fall in love.
Not fall in love?
Yeah, because it's like
Retta,
you don't. I do. I heard that. I will send you guys some like little clips. Yes, it's like
I've heard that. I need to go back and check that. Gregor Gallagher did a little piece on that, and I think it might not be exactly that true. I think what it actually does though is it causes it to cessation of like alcoholism and fucking smoking and things like that. It actually helps with those as well, because it's a certain neural pathway.
It gets rid of the yearning, right? Yearning for food, yearning for alcohol, drugs, but also yearning for like another person, like we were talking about earlier. It's like the chemical reaction to like falling in love or a person. It like gets rid of that yearning as well. I don't know if that's true.
Like the youth in your face, people like super old after they do something.
That's true.
Yeah,
they're losing all the fat.
Well, what makes you fall in love is Trenbolone, and
Trenbolone makes you makes you go through her phone
and Cialis.
Oh my god,
Trenbolone makes you go through her phone.
No one's falling in love in this society anyway. Love is out.
Yes. If you haven't been hit with a domestic abuse case, then you're not taking enough Tren. Yeah.
This one here.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Which one is? Set this one up. Okay, here we go.
72% of men under 30 hold a positive view of women. 50% of women under 30 hold a positive view of men. That's a 22-point gap. Among women under 25, the figure drops to 35%, a 37-point gap. We constantly hear about the manosphere, toxic masculinity, and the radicalization of young men. But the data says something else. Young women are the ones sorting the opposite sex into the enemy column, and they are doing it at scale. Among working class young women, 61% still hold a positive view of men. Among their professional class peers, the figure is 36%, a 25-point gap along a single axis. How much time the respondent has spent inside universities, HR departments, media organizations, and NGO pipelines. The gender divide runs along institutional exposure. Helen Andrews outlined what is happening in her essay, The Great Feminization. Between 2015 and 2020, Western culture tipped majority female. The New York Times newsroom tipped in 2018, law schools in 2016, medical schools and the college-educated workforce in 2019. But none of this was organic. 30 years of affirmative action mandates, discrimination settlements, and grant conditional diversity requirements did the engineering, one lawsuit and grant at a time. Once those institutions tipped, their purpose changed. A justice system built to adjudicate crime became one to protect oppressed minorities. A newsroom built to report became one built to enforce narrative uniformity. A university built to argue became a safe space. The mechanism is older than wokeness. Male groups are mission-oriented. Female groups are cohesion-oriented. Effectively, men want to put the ball in the net, and women want to make sure everyone has a chance to play with the ball. What has emerged is what I call the daycare governance model. 3 roles in 3 only. Infants to be protected, or the oppressed, caregivers to administer the protection, or the allies or comrades, and predators to be removed, the dissenters. The evidence replicates. The Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression's 2026 college speech rankings found women less tolerant than men across every ideology, less tolerant of their allies, in fact, than men are of their enemies. A young woman who entered kindergarten in 2005 has now spent 20 continuous years inside daycare governance. She did not invent the frame that sorts men into the predator column. She inherited it from every institution she passed through. The 35% figure is what happens when the sorting completes. Moral triage at population scale. Victim, ally, predator, no gray zones.
That was just kind of what you were asking about before. It's like women who have spent more time with HR departments and universities tend to have a lower opinion of men. It might not, I'm not saying men don't do things that are wrong, but my point is it may be propaganda that they receive because of the echo chamber that they get based on social media. You understand what I'm saying?
I do, but I'm going to go back to what she said, because when you say favor, it's like, what are we talking about exactly? It's so vague of a conversation.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So it's really hard to say, have an opinion about it when it's so
vague.
I
think if you survey enough people and ask them, do you have a favorable opinion of the opposite sex? You can get a number that's viable. And the fact that the 2 numbers are so far away from each other, I think that kind of says a lot. That's the only thing I'm saying. It's just like something to consider. My point is, what we've been told because of the show Adolescence and all these other people, all these other shows, is that men are having a negative viewpoint of women because of propaganda they're seeing. And then when they're surveyed, they don't have a negative viewpoint of women. And then women are sitting there making content about 62 million men are rapists. And then it turns out they do have a negative viewpoint of men. You see what I'm saying?
I think it's because we feel like men have a
Her,
negative.
if she's over there, could she come back over here and sit over here? Because Jamie had to step out. Yeah. Go ahead.
We feel like men have a negative viewpoint about us because of the way they treat us, the way they talk about us, the way.
Do you think it's all men though?
No, it's not all men.
Or do you think it might be men that you're attracted to?
I don't think that necessarily. I think I hear like on repeat talking about like, men aren't getting enough sex, or men need sex, and but if you have sex with men, that makes you not a good future wife because you're having sex with men. But now, like, I don't know, it's like
a conundrum. It is a conundrum. I do agree with that. Yeah, for sure.
Like you don't want us to have sex with men, but then you guys are so worried about having sex, but it's I think overall it's like confusing for us. I think
they tell us to close our legs and then worry about the birth rates. Why is it down? Well, you told us,
Yeah, you told us not to have sex with men.
Well,
and then if we're
I think what they're telling you is to not have sex with Chris Brown. I think that's kind of like what they're trying. If you really want to sum it down to one thing, it's like you keep having sex with trash men and then blaming other men for it. I think that's the issue.
And what I'm saying is, I hear that a lot.
What I'm saying is, all of you ladies in this room, if you were willing to compromise on a few things, there are men who would die to marry you right now, but you aren't willing to compromise on those things because you said 3% of men are attractive. And so because of that, that's why we have the lowest marriage rate in history.
I've compromised on those things, and it's sometimes turned to bite me in the ass.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I feel like I'm kind of on the men's side for some of this though.
For sure.
I am on, I think women in general are more vocal on social media. I'm on some of my single close friends list, and they'll put the conversations they're having with guys and like men. And I'll be like, well, you did that too. Like I'd like to call them out, and I'm like, that's part of the problem. And then I also have a lot of attractive single male friends from the gym that tell me that they actually complain because I'll look at them like, what? They're like, women are feral these days. They're like, I actually want to get to know them and talk to them. And I'm like, What? Are you just
we just want to use you for your body.
Are you just telling me that because I'm a woman?
Yeah.
Right.
So here's the thing. Here's one of the major differences. So I have a client. I just talked to him a couple days ago, and he's saying stuff like, "Oh, well, I'm seeing this girl, but we're not really serious." But I went out somewhere, and she was talking to another guy. She wasn't flirting, but she was talking to another guy that annoyed me, and I was like, "Bro, what the fuck is wrong with you? That's not your girlfriend. She's gonna talk to other. Well, what should I do in those situations? Go talk to other people, or make her your girlfriend.
Exactly.
Shit, or get off the pot. You want to know what happened to him?
Be a
He
man
said,
and lead.
"No,
Be a
you,
man
no,
and
no.
lead.
What? You know what happened to him when I said that, and what happens to every guy when I say that? You're probably right. They don't cry. They don't try to cancel me. They take the criticism and they fucking keep it pushing. If you were to tell, and I can tell you this because you're in fitness, if you were to tell the average woman, hey, you're overweight, you probably need to lose some weight. You probably need to get off the vapes. You probably need to get off of social media because you're on there way too much. And you need to take accountability for your actions. If I tell that to men, how many men are offended? Anyone want to guess? How many men are offended? None of them. None of them are offended because we're all been told that. But if I say that to women, what happens?
Oh yeah, stop.
That's the point is if I choose on my channel, which I do, to be equally critical of men and women, I'm only canceled for one reason. I have been deplatformed. I have been ratioed. I have been demonetized, but it is never because I criticize men. But I criticize men exactly as much as I criticize women. And that's my whole point. It's like, if I tell you, if I did a female self-improvement course, which would be take accountability for your actions, who you date, that's your fault. You keep dating a narcissist, that's because of trauma that you've suffered, and you need to work through that. You need to get into better shape, get in the best shape of your life. You need to get off of the SSRIs, the Adderall, and the fucking vapes. And you need to stop being on social media so much. I am immediately labeled a misogynist for saying this. Immediately labeled it. But if I say the same 4 things to men, you know what I am? I'm a U.S. Marine Corps military training instructor. That's what I am. That's the difference. And so my point is, if I give the same advice to men and women, one side gets way more offended than the other. That's it. That's the difference. Do you want to share that one I just gave you?
Yeah. Okay. No, I was just going to say this is that like the narrative that I see on like Call Her Daddy is probably the easiest one to sort of poke holes in right now. But we're constantly, like when you were talking about how women have these mixed messages, right? With like, oh, I don't know if I should shut my legs or keep them open. I don't, you guys want to fuck girls, but you don't want to marry girls who fuck, right? And I think it comes down to like, who are you listening to? Like, where's that voice coming from? Because the voices in the manosphere are so diverse right now. Like you might hear TradCon say, be chaste, be pure, whatever, be wholesome, whatever the fuck the terminology they're using right now. And then you might hear some other guy say, well, here's how you get laid, but it's just coming from different sources. So I can understand why it's confusing. It seems like a double standard, but it's like there's going to be guys that are going to tell you one thing, and there's going to be other guys that are in the same sort of niche that are going to tell you another thing as well.
Yeah. Overall, if you want long-term happiness, I would probably say for men and for women, again, when I say this to men, they're never offended. When I say this to women, they get super angry. Stop sleeping around so fucking much. That's what I would say. If I just said to women, stop sleeping around so much, I immediately am whatever podcast, fresh and fit, whatever. If I tell men, hey, listen, there's data that shows that if you have more sexual partners before you're married, you're less likely to be happy in a relationship. If I had a male stripper sitting right there where you were, who's had sex with 900 women, and I said, hey, bro, just to let you know, you're probably going to have a harder time being happy in a relationship because you fucked 900 women. He's going to be like, yeah, that sounds about right. He's not going to be offended. He's not going to yell at me. He's not going to tell me. He's not going to call me a douchebag.
We don't
He's not
have
going to call me.
guys telling guys that though. We don't have.
I do. I tell the guys that all the time, and so do all the TradCon men. Oh. They do the same thing. They do the same. Listen, I'm calling my own foul. I've been with women. I'm definitely part of the problem. My point is, I'm aware of that problem. I'm also dating someone significantly younger than me, and I understand that the data shows that is hard to keep a marriage, but dating someone who's 20 years younger than me. I understand that, but I'm not going to ignore that or be offended by the data that doesn't agree with my personal life narrative. I'm still going to accept it. And so that's where I think the difference is. Don't be so offended. If guys are telling you this, maybe don't be so offended. I don't think you are, but I'm saying in general, just don't be so offended. Can we play that video?
Yeah.
Today we have, are they talking to someone else? Get a lot of questions from guys wondering if the girl that they might want to date is currently talking to other guys, looking at other options, and we're going to decipher how you're able to figure that out. Yes, they are talking to somebody else. And if in the off chance that they're not, they have somebody else in mind that they'll probably make their way over to in the event that you guys stop talking. So thank you for coming to my TED Talk today. This was a short one, but I'm glad I was able to clear that up for you guys, and I'll see you at the same time again tomorrow.
Anyone disagree?
Yes.
Are they talking to someone else? Yes. Anyone disagree?
I think see, again, it's vague, but I would say depends. It depends on whether or not the man, because here's the thing is men, unfortunately, they're not clear. They don't know to say, look, I want you in my life exclusively. Let's make this happen kind of thing where they draw lines in the sand. It's just everybody's just kind of out in the wild, wild west. And so if a woman doesn't have a man tell her that he
if you don't define the relationship, I don't know I'm in one.
Right. Then it's not one exactly.
You have to lead me into
also,
this relationship.
Some guys, they want girls to be loyal to them and they don't feel the need to be loyal
in return,
which I literally don't understand.
Or girls need to be loyal first for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Right? Why do we have to show guys nowadays? Why do we always have to be the one nowadays? Like these guys, they have one bad experience with a girl, and all of a sudden he want to take it out on every other girl he talks to for the rest
now
of
we
the
all
day.
get tested.
First of all, how much shit have I put up with? First of all, and I'm still being nice to your ass.
I feel that.
Go ahead, speaking to the mic.
I'm sorry. I think it also comes down to intent. Like, are you actually trying to date this person? Are you looking for this person long term? Sometimes we go to the talking stage, but it never really moves past that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So why would you cut off your other options or other? And even if for me, it's not even like somebody maybe in your city that you're actively seeing, but like maybe it's a guy in like Scottsdale who's like trying to like court, like hang out or whatever, just other options don't necessarily mean you're immediately acting on them. I don't know if that makes sense.
It's like men value sex so much. We hear about like, oh, okay. Like, how are men going to get sex? What makes women want to have sex with men and stuff? And it's like, so how are we supposed to know that you're not just here for sex and that you're here for like a relationship? So why would I stop
in the beginning?
In the beginning,
the answer is yes.
And are we acting like the guys aren't entertaining other girls? Are we going to act like they're being little good guys and they're not messing around or don't have other options as well? Like this is
like
what
that.
life is
Just
now.
has to be that conversation.
Yeah, unless the conversation's
can we
there.
be exclusive? Would you like to be exclusive with me? I want to be exclusive with you. Like,
so don't worry if you're talking to a girl and she's talking to other guys because you're just talking to her.
But
So
some
it's so
guys,
weird.
they like make bitches feel so special and like they love them. And honestly,
Love bombing.
Yeah, and then they act like you're crazy for thinking that they would, they're fucking with you.
Like, oh, I guess you're just like this with every chick.
Yeah,
Got
exactly.
it.
That's
Okay, well, then you also have to take into consideration the technology of today. Okay,
Exactly.
so right now, I think this is sort of like a 21st century problem for women because you have access to social media and it is on 24/7. So I've asked this question. You don't have to answer this right now, but I've asked this question of a lot of women that have been on this panel before. Is if you met a guy who was like the most perfect guy in the world, he was just absolutely check off every single box. He was hot. He was a good long-term security guy. He was ride or die, right? The guy's perfect. Would it occur to you to take your Instagram down? Would it occur to you? And I don't mean like he asked you. I mean, would it occur to you naturally to go, oh shit, this guy's so perfect. I don't want him to get any wrong idea that I might be talking to somebody else on Instagram. I'm going to take my Instagram down or my OnlyFans or whatever social media you want to talk to. Would that occur to you organically?
I think OnlyFans and Instagram are drastically different.
Okay.
Which
So
I
you're making a lot
I don't have an
women
OnlyFans.
women do make money off of their
those are
Instagram
different.
as well. Well, let's just say Instagram at this stage.
I think
Listen,
with
I
the
have pretty
specific
feet,
guy,
so I'm not taking my OF down. That shit's not happening.
with the specific guy, like the guy I'm seeing right now, he's a photographer. He takes my pictures for my Instagram. Like that just doesn't make sense for me to not have an Instagram.
I was the one who made this. I did the thumbnail, and I know what your Instagram is about. Do you think that would you, if for the right guy, right? Would it occur to you to say, well, I don't want there to be any misunderstandings. I don't want him to think I'm on the market, for example.
Yeah, I think if my man was a guy who wasn't involved in the same industry that, modeling and all of that, I think it would occur to me to be like, okay, like like depending on his profession and his moral grounding, I would switch up.
Why don't you just post a picture with him then?
That's
like, why don't you just hard launch it?
That's screwing up your OnlyFans. What kind of ridiculous? We're trying to make money here, honey.
I got into this. I got in this one conversation, and I think it was something Scott Galloway said at one point. But like we're talking about this article that was, I think, about a couple months ago, and I think it was in the Atlantic, and it was something about how women were embarrassed to have a boyfriend right now.
I've been hearing them.
And they're just hemming and hawing. It's just because men ain't shit and everything. I'm like, no, it's not. It's because if that woman puts a picture of her boyfriend on her Instagram, her social capital drops like a rock as soon as she does that. She will lose followers if she puts that on there. And if you have women whose egos are measured in likes and follows and subscriptions and everything else, that's an ego hit. That's why you do soft launches. That's why you don't do a hard launch, because you want to make sure that this guy's he's
gonna be around.
And even then, right? There's a very famous meme going around with was it the soccer players, Messi and Ronaldo, and
on their IG it's them and their wife.
On their IG, if they're on vacation, it's them, their wife, and their kids are on the same beach as if you look on their wives' Instagram. It's just her lounging in the surf
Messi's
somewhere.
wife?
Yes, lounging in the surf. And because there's this want, and I think this is, and again, I said this is a 21st century.
She's talking to someone else.
A 21st century predicament for women is because of this choice paradox. There's this need to present availability all the time. That's what I was getting at.
Sells.
Yeah, sex sells, but it's also you have to look like you're available. Take your wedding ring off. Don't, when you're taking pictures, don't give the impression that you are in any way in a committed relationship with anybody, because if you do, you will lose followers, subs, likes, whatever else that goes along with that.
That's true.
I'm gonna call my own foul here, and I'm gonna have the what is it? The committee of Red Pill is going to scold me for this. I love it. All of my exes are world-class bikini models.
Yes,
fitness
please,
models.
please. I'm not saying. Please keep your Instagram up.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm good with it.
Like all of my exes were either in Playboy or Maxim, and I'm gonna tell you right now, every girl that I've dated, we always date women together, and so I don't give a fuck if they keep as many bikini photos up as possible. Some of you guys know who I'm seeing now.
Secure masculine.
They are available to other women. I am totally, so I'm in that case. I would never. I don't want her to take it down. Let her, like, it's a good life I'm living. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a good life.
Can I
I'm
say
living.
something?
Yeah.
Can men like you? Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, so before my man, I was one of those. I would kind of be bitchy to men on social media. I'd be like, hey, this is my business page. This is my coaching page. Now I've been dating him for 3 years. He actually encouraged me to make an OnlyFans. We capitalized on lift carry. That's a whole different podcast.
You can I
still respect myself. Yes. And my mom sees it. She's like, how are you making that much money doing that? But because of my man, and I said this because I actually have a podcast called Barbell Business and Boobs, which because of Meta, we had to change the name. But I did an episode.
When am I getting on the fucking show? You will not find a single person in this whole city other than like Chris Corsandi who knows more about boobs than me. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, we started it because we both have fake boobs. And
I could totally get you.
You know girls with fake boobs? No way. I don't know anyone. Go ahead.
We started it because I said, I literally came and said, like, I would never have an OnlyFans. I'm not about that. I respect myself too much. And then I had to make another episode like, hey, I have an OnlyFans now. And guess what? My coaching business.
Well, you have such a niche with your body, and that like some of these guys, they want you to just squeeze them.
Muscle
I didn't want to make that about me. I just wanted to applaud you because there are, I don't know what the percentage is, you would know, there are some men that put their woman on a pedestal, and like you said, and I'm probably older than you. I would, if your man said to delete your Instagram, honey, you're gonna delete all that hard work. That's your brand. Don't. If a man tells you to do that,
but that's why I preface it with this. Would it? I mean, you're not saying actually do it, but I'm like, would it occur to you to go, I should probably take my Instagram down because I don't want this guy who's so perfect for me to think that I am still on the market.
Yes.
Or here's a better, or take your profile down off of Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, whatever dating profile. Because wasn't one of you saying that didn't you say you found your man's a guy was still on Bumble after he was?
Oh, that was me.
Was that you? Yeah, you found him. He was still on Bumble afterwards. Like at that point, it's like you're still pitching your availability while you're still with someone. So here's the difference: is like guys are the pitchmen. They have to like be the ones that sell themselves. Yeah, I think you should probably have sex with me. Let me tell you 100 different ways why you should. Right? He's the guy. He's the guy who's the pitchman. Right? For women, it's about advertising. It's just like, here's what you get if you get me, kind of thing. So the thing is I'm in a committed relationship with you, and I go and I try to pick up on the bartender or the hot waitress or something like that. We call that cheating. But if you're still on Instagram or you're still on Bumble and you still haven't put a picture of me up on there, or you take your wedding ring off, or you're still on any of the dating profiles, we don't call that cheating. We call that that's my business. I'm hedging my bets. I want to make sure, just in case that
part
this
of the
doesn't work
entertainment
out.
industry.
So I'll say this:
content. It's not cheating. It's content.
I think it is a masculine quality for men to respect the fact that other men raise their kids and have a family the different way. What I mean by that is the rancher and the stockbroker. The stockbroker can respect the fact that the way the rancher raises his kids, and the rancher can respect the way the stockbroker does. So if I have a friend who's Muslim and he's like, my wife does not walk outside without a headscarf and she's always accompanied by another male, if she agrees to that, then I don't have any problem with you doing that. And if you're Adam 22 and you want to let your wife bang other male porn stars, as long as they both agree to it, as long as everyone can say yes and no and just leave, I don't have any problem with that whatsoever. And like I said, in my situation, because I pretty much exclusively date bisexual women and we see women together, I do not give a shit about this. And I'm sure I'm going to get skewered in the comments for it, but I promise you, if you were living my life, you would shut the fuck up and be like, no, what he's saying. Mm-hmm. So that's the whole thing. And the other thing is, I want to make enough money to where my girl never has to work again. So this is all the hard work you put into there. You can archive that. You don't need that if that's what you don't want. But like, I'm just telling you right now, whoever I'm dating, in general, I don't have a problem with it, because what he was talking about, while it is accurate, and some guys do believe that, for me, it is your job. It is not other men's job to not hit on you. It is your job as a woman in the relationship to protect the sanctity of your mouth, your nipples, your vagina, and your butthole. Nobody is to touch that. If you can protect the sanctity of that, I don't care if dudes hit on you. I don't care.
Of the butthole.
Sanctity of the butthole. As long as you guys protect that in our relationship, I'm fine with it, because then I know the kid's mine.
But you're talking about like, some girls need to like lower their standards a little bit or whatever. Say you get like a Delta guy or a man that's like making an honest living, he can make a decent living, but you still as a woman like have to work and you're having your own motion or whatever, and then you go to like deactivate your account. Well, it's like not every guy is dating you that
agreed.
That can just like
you're absolutely right. It's irrational if a woman. Let's not use OnlyFans. Let's say a surgical nurse. If a woman is making money and she's with a man who doesn't make money and they need money to survive, then it is irrational for her to quit her job. No one's going to disagree with you. Of course, what you're saying is accurate. My point is, I have so many clients that they make $400,000 a year, but they're Indian and they're 5'8". And so women just kind of like swipe left on them, and that's it. And they're fucking incredible guys. But I don't date guys like that. That's all I'm saying. And they're wonderful people. I deal with this all the time. And so that's the only thing I'm saying is like, sometimes they're just getting picked over because of one thing or another.
For me personally, too, I hate the height thing. Because I feel like a guy can never control that.
The height thing's debunked. My man's 5'6", I'm 6 foot.
Well, it's not debunked. In general, women do want men over 6 feet tall.
It's funny. Right. It's like the taller the woman is, the less I think it's like as big an issue. Because I've known, like I've had girlfriends that were like 6'1", and at some point they kind of go, I'm probably not going to, unless I go to the NBA, I'm not going to find somebody who's like, 6'3" or something. I'm going to be taller than you.
Ladies,
there's some point you gotta kind of go, maybe,
Here we go. Let's play a fun game here. This is only for ladies who have never been on the show before. If you've been on the show before, don't answer. The percentage of men in the United States that are over 6 feet tall, 6 feet or taller, is what? Go.
2%.
Would you say 2%?
2.
What do you think?
8%.
What do you think?
15.
15. What do you think?
Yeah, probably like 10.
10.
Speaking of the mic.
Maybe like 20.
20. Huh?
I don't know, maybe like I wanted to say a number higher, but everyone's going low, so I'm like,
don't be influenced.
20.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna say 33.
Cool. It's about
That's fine.
It's about 17% of men. Okay. Now, the first time we asked this on our first episode back in 2022, Or first time we asked it was 40%, 50%. The average man's 6'2". The problem is, like, because of whatever in Fresh and Fit, girls have wised up to like some of this demographic. So the next question I'm going to ask you is the percentage of American men that make over $100,000 a year is what?
Probably like 2%.
2%.
5.
100,000 a year. 20.
20. What do you think?
Maybe like 40.
40%. What do you think, Stephanie?
I think like 5%.
5%. What do you think?
I'm gonna say like 20.
20. What do you think?
I think like 30%.
30%. What do you think?
12%.
12%.
Oh, 25%.
What do you think?
1%
make $100,000 a year.
I think it's
girl. You must be from the hood I'm from. That is crazy. That is
figures
wild. You're from the UK also.
No, I grew up in Vegas. So
okay. That is wild. It's 14%. All right. So the thing is, if I multiply 0.14 times 0.17, which is men who are over 6 feet tall and make $100,000 a year, that is 2.2% of men. Now, the thing is, when we originally started asking these questions, the numbers were outrageous. It was the average guy makes $400,000 a year and is 6'2". Those are the number. Those are the outrageous numbers they were telling us. And then over time, it started to get a little bit lower and lower because I think these demographic numbers, because they've been so viral. I have a video that's got 10 million views where we ask the girls this question, and then they are massively disillusioned. The thing I'm trying to say though is, you guys understand that if that is the case, like, there's no one for you to date. Does anyone see that? Or is it just like, well, there's 2.2% of men, but I'm special and I'm going to get that man? Do you guys not see the problem here?
That's why no one's in relationships.
Okay. Could that also be?
They're just sharing that one guy.
So 2.2% of men are
Which has been done historically for a long time.
2.2% of men are 6 feet tall and make $100,000 a year. And women, what is it? I'm sorry.
What percentage of them are available?
70. Oh no,
even smaller.
We get into that. Yeah, it's like 0.2.
100%.
So two stats. I'm just you guys can figure out whether or not they're correlated. 2.2% of men are over 6 feet tall and make $100,000 a year, and women, 75% of women had. 50% of women had a positive view of men, and under the age of 25, 35% of women had a positive view of men. Do you see? How this could be a problem, how these things could be matching up, that maybe why they have a negative view of men.
We're figuring out why the fertility rate is going down.
I think we're figuring out why the percentages are there, because the smallest percentage of men that we'd have better perspectives on don't exist.
Correct.
So we're looking at the latter.
What do you mean?
Meaning
it's being alone.
The numbers are coming from the other 98% of men. That's that we're gauging. So when you say that there's only 2.2% men that are above 6'2",
and
6
feet tall, and make 100K,
and 100K, if that's only 2.2%, when we're doing our polls here, we're not meeting those men. So clearly, this is where the polls are coming from.
But you have access to those men. You know where you have access to all of them?
Why don't you enlighten me?
On social media.
Yeah,
you have access to every single one of those men, and women often do. Do anybody see the video of Chris Brown going to an after party and there were 400 women following him from behind? And I would put any amount of money, more than half of them are in committed relationships, following him up to that thing. The level of hypergamy, we have unfettered hypergamy, and it's leading to a totally polygynous society where the average guy in the United States has I'll skip all the dramatics here, has about 7 sexual partners in his life, maybe 6. About a third of men go a year without sex. So we're going to take that bottom third of men, and we're going to say they have 0 or 1 sexual partners. We get to the median man, he's at about 7. Okay. And then the top 5% of men, they have 50 sexual partners, and the top 1% of men, 150 sexual partners. 0, 7, 50, 150. What is that? Does this look like a line, or does this look like a hockey stick? What does that look like to you guys? And that's how that's how sex is distributed to men. There's a few men at the top who are getting a shit ton of sex, and there's a whole bunch of men at the bottom who are getting none.
It's been that for so long, though.
It's always been correct. Throughout history, 40% of men and 80% of women have reproduced.
I understand, like, I might get a lot of hate for this, and I come from a nuclear family, and I was a wife. I was raised by a wife, so I get tradition. But also, I'd rather share a hot, high value man, because I feel like having it just all to myself, I'd be stressed out. But girl, tag in.
Well, you and Nikki Glazier, I'll both agree.
No shit.
Yeah,
yes. Thank you again for that video. Call her daddy.
It'd be too much pressure to have a guy focus on me the whole time. Just be half it up.
You want to do? Oh, you want to
Rage
do? Yeah, okay.
Let's get into it. 2 years ago, I met a female content creator who was very confidently telling women she would never get married, she didn't trust men, that marriage was basically slavery, and other women shouldn't do it either. A few days ago, she got engaged. And in the comments, you could see that many of her followers felt betrayed. But there's actually a very big lesson in here that you need to learn. Many of you are getting rage baited into hating the opposite sex by people who have no business giving you advice and would change their tune in a second if they found the right person. And that's how you end up taking life advice that takes you down the wrong path. Real life advice about relationships, about how to see the opposite sex, how much you trust, how open or closed you are to love, from people who are figuring it out just like you, confused just like you. They're just doing it on camera with some feminist buzzwords and a monetization strategy. What works for one person will not always work for you. What resonates emotionally is not always the same as what's true. And someone being loud and confident doesn't mean they have any business telling you how to live. I have never seen so many people be afraid of love and the opposite sex in my life. I want part in this. And please consider that many of today's successful female icons who are empowering you, whether it's Cody Sanchez or Emma Grede or Sarah Blakely, they're all married too. To be an empowered woman doesn't mean to reject love. It means to reject men who are unworthy of you so you can find the one who is. Next time a creator is telling you to hate someone, to distrust someone, to write off an entire gender, ask yourself, is this wisdom or is this someone's very certain sounding opinion that an algorithm decided to put in front of my face today?
Beautiful. I think we've covered this topic. What do you guys think about that?
I love that. Like my whole being here the whole time, I was like, damn. I sometimes like I'm on the man side. I have two brothers. I'm in a male dominated sport. So I hear both sides of it. And it makes me mad at girls because it's like we're uneducated, we're not attractive, and we're talking shit about men. Like I want to stand up for the men, honestly.
But yeah, and I realized that, you know, the algorithm's so crazy. Like some of my own opinions about my own relationship were coming from the scrolling and like, you know, just these people saying like there's just so much, you know, like oh, what you pay half the bills, you blah blah blah, like so many women making women feel bad for like having a job and you know having like not just dating men for money and stuff, maybe dating a man because you enjoy his personality. And
shout out to Shira 7. Shout out. Yes.
I think that if I may say this, because I have a son and I hear a lot of women say there's no good men, and some of those women are raising sons.
Yes.
And I strongly, and I say this to a lot of my girlfriends who have sons and they have that man hater kind of attitude. It's like, if you feel that way about men, then you're suggesting that to your son as well.
That's
and you're
accurate.
also saying that he won't grow up and be a good man, you know? And so I'm totally against this man hating, even though I grew up in an environment where, you know, men were not great, they were abusive, that kind of thing. I still have to have a belief system that there are good men, because there are.
Do you know the whole playground thing that you all of us went through when we were growing up in elementary school and junior high? We would go to recess, we'd go to the playground, we'd play basketball together. Do you know that's in every society in history? Every single society has this like communal, free play effect that's going on. And then there's some people who are left who might have a charity event for animal rescue or invite a bunch of their friends to go axe throwing, or maybe let's all go to an escape room and get out of there together. And everyone looks at me like I have a fucking third eye when I say this. Why can't we do that? I've told guys a million times before, and I will continue to say this. Now, I use the term exclusive events, but it doesn't have to be exclusive event. It's a situation where you just lead a social circle of other people and you get to know them in a non-sexual, low pressure environment. And they get to see other women reacting to you and other men reacting to you. And from that, you can be way less physically attractive and date a way more beautiful woman. And as a woman, the same thing. Like I can find out, oh, this woman would give me peace. There's several times where I friend zoned a girl because I wasn't really into her, or whatever. And then I got to know her. I knew she's very attractive, but I just friend zoned her, and I get to know her for a while. And I was like, yo, this girl is non-judgmental. She's going to be super supportive of my business. The girl that I'm with now, I'll be honest with you, I didn't see it as being in a long-term relationship, but it was just like she supported my business. She was totally down for me. And I wouldn't have learned that unless we were in a group environment together for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever. And I just don't understand why I'm looked at like I'm crazy. No, Michael, just go up to women and tell them I'm so attracted to you. Will you go on a date with me?
May I meet you?
Let me buy premium on Tinder and get the premium swipes. Yeah. You're fucking creepy. Or here, my favorite. Let me go to a matchmaker. What's the first question the matchmaker asks the guy? What's the first question?
How much money?
How much money do you have? What's the first thing that the matchmaker tells the woman about the guy she's setting her up with? How much money does he have? Let's go to matchmakers. Yeah, matchmakers and dating apps and cold approach pickup. Fuck yeah, let's go do all that. Meanwhile, not to toot my own horn, but I have a 4.99 rating on Trustpilot. Why don't you go check it out for yourself if you don't believe me? Because all of my clients will tell you that what I teach them fucking works. Cool. Anything else?
Last one.
Let's do that last one.
Last one.
I just wanted to say
go
really
ahead.
quick, because you've mentioned Shira 7. She says that she's a financial advisor, not a dating coach. So I just wanted to say
so here's the thing. I'm going to do a video about female
Yeah.
I'm going to do a video about female panderers, and Shira 7's not one. You want to know why? Because what she's saying isn't wrong. It's going to put you in a horrible relationship, but it's not wrong. It isn't wrong. You will end up with the bag if you act like that. Same thing with Russell Hartley, who, by the way, a lot of people don't realize is one of my really good friends. Russell Hartley and I are on the complete opposite sides when he talks. He's telling women to be gold diggers, and I'm telling men do not fall for gold diggers. But he is one of my good friends. And I will tell you, I don't think they're panders. Chris G.Q. Perry is a panderer. Derek Jackson's a panderer. The guys who are just like, you had a dream that he cheated. You need to leave him. Women know when they have dreams. He's a Gemini. That's Gemini energy. That's why just fucking gaslighting women like crazy. They're the most dangerous individuals in the world who say this fucking nonsense. It's like, if you can't immediately financially support a woman, why would she spend any time talking to you whatsoever? I'm like, bro, you're a panderer. You don't even believe the shit that you're saying. You're just saying it because you want the approval of women. And the problem is this. 85% of transactions on TikTok Shop are from women. So guess what happens when I post my content? Nothing. They ratio me into the ground. But if you start making content about, girl, here's a diet plan for your astrology sign, you will be a billionaire. Because TikTok likes that shit. As long as women enjoy the content, they're going to promote it. And if but men, the problem is men don't have a problem when I criticize men. Women have a big problem when I criticize
What
women.
about Sterling?
Sterling Cooper?
Yeah.
Well, Sterling, dude, I am absolutely
Would you like me to bring him on the show?
100%
Yes.
going to set you up with Sterling Cooper.
Yes.
That is not even a question. That is not even the girls asked me to set them up with Andrew Tate because I know Andrew Tate. I was like, that's gonna be a little harder. Sterling Cooper, I can absolutely make that happen.
He'll be in a plane tomorrow.
Justin Waller is a little bit more difficult, but possible.
Probably work that out.
Probably work that out. But Sterling Cooper, 100% I can make that
I'm
happen.
not a grifter guy.
Yes.
All right, here you go. This one.
If you get a man to pay your bills, you say rent is due. Like that. I'm like, it all depends on where the man is at financially too. Like, I have dated like mostly very wealthy men. And so if you go to a very wealthy man, like for example, my last boyfriend, we were traveling and I think like, I was like, I can't travel all the time. I need to work and pay my bills. And he was like, how much are your bills? And that's it. And then do you show him how thankful you are? What is it afterwards? I'm Let's say there. You show up. I'm there. That's you being thankful. Yeah, and any wealthy man that I've dated, they've watched my content. I'm sure that they'll watch this. It never even occurs to them to be like, aren't you grateful?
So you don't become more submissive if they pay your bills. You continue being
I definitely become easier to get along with. Like, I'm not worried about working all the time. I'm not stressed out about how
Which
I'm gonna...
puts you in your feminine energy.
Yeah. Definitely like, oh, yeah, we can just, like, chill all day and go to Erewhon and, like, go see a movie and I'm on your schedule and da-da-da-da-da. Like, I have more availability. I have more free time and I'm in a better mood. And, like, I think any wealthy man that I've known, that's part of the appeal of having money.
What do you think, ladies?
So that was the girl that that last video was referring to because she just got engaged and I guess MJ, her name is.
Yeah.
Her whole content is like, kind of like, yeah, like guys for money, but like, you know, it's oppressive to like get married and have kids and this and that. But like all of a sudden you pop up with a ring on your finger and you're all like submissive and like simping on this dude or whatever, which she'll only show like one part of his, she won't even show his whole face. She'll only show part of it, but she's like gallivanting around Europe right now and like all this stuff. So it's like, okay, so it's like
she better not show his face. She's an ungrateful woman who's getting treated financially. Women are going to crawl into this man's DMs trying to get at her. Are you kidding? Of course she's not going to show his face.
But she's not lying. I mean, if women are being very honest, okay, if we can go back, you can look at every civilization, every culture. There's like anthropology. Okay?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It is the natural design for a man to be the lead, to be the provider, right?
Okay.
And so no matter how strong women say that they are, independent that they are, and things like that, they do soften when they feel a man is providing for her. And that's and that's a fact. You know, and so people will act like I'm independent. I'm a very independent woman.
When that
I've
10,
made my
20
own
grand hits your bank account, I feel
really
relaxed.
I'm down. I am on my knees laying down.
Listen,
She said she's on her knees.
but also,
I'm thankful. I'm praying and thank you, sir.
but it's not. It's not even a rite of passage. It's just the natural design.
Sure.
Okay, so I think that just as much as men should be the head, there's a part. I mean, and again, I'm a very independent woman. I've made my own money, but I can certainly appreciate a man who has traditional values in that sense, and I will respect that and love that and actually appreciate it. Matter of fact, the thing is, that me working in the casino business for so long and being around very, very wealthy men,
loyal wealthy men.
I'm not going to call them all loyal. Some of them are.
For
Okay,
sure.
there are some really good men out there that
There
have
are.
a ton of money, but they're very principally driven men. But having said that, they are not batting an eye. They are not sweating whether or not a woman's a gold digger. They are financially secure. They don't care. They would much rather provide, take care of a woman.
Yeah.
They don't care about all this gold digger conversation. They don't need to care. It's just different. Now,
Yeah.
What's worse, a drug dealer or a drug addict? There's some people who are into that. Some men make money and they want the girl who likes that they make money. So, I think that if women are honest, no matter how successful we are, we want a provider in our lives.
I'm just gonna obviously I totally believe that she believes every single thing she's saying, and I believe that that's exactly how it works for her. My point is, I would actually rather have a woman desire me and then find out I have money. I would rather have a woman completely show to me how genuinely attracted she is to me, and then once we're in that part of the relationship, then I choose to take care of her.
Yeah.
That's the only thing, because you can't go the other way.
You're vetting.
He's not that cute, but he's rich. That is a recipe for getting cheated on and divorced.
Right.
But if it's like, man, I really like hooking up with this guy, and then I found out that he's well off financially, and now he wants me to not work anymore, that's a recipe for Prince Charming. That's a recipe for 75 years of marriage. That's my point. But I think genuine desire should come before money. And then once you have a good woman who you come home and everything is just but I didn't ask her to do any of this. I just came home and all of my clothes were folded, and she washed all my sheets and she's making me food. And I didn't ask for any of this. And I was just like, babe, where do you want to go? She's like, London. Let's go to London. No question about it. But I chose to do that after I found a woman who genuinely desired me.
What if we genuinely decide a dude and then find out he's broke? Then we're fucked.
Listen,
you know what I mean?
here's the thing. Here's the problem. Well, that is a great question.
Right.
The problem with this is, especially in the way AI works today, figuring out whether or not a dude is broke is so easy, and hardly any of you really check. I'm not gonna lie. Too many of you, not you in this room, obviously none of you in this room would ever do this. Too many ladies in general have fucked a dude with a fake Richard Mille. Well, so many of you have done this. I know there's this app called Parallel Lives where it looks like there's thousands of people watching you live stream on Instagram, and guys use this, and women are throwing themselves at them and having sex with these dudes.
Parallel Lives.
Parallel Live.
And live.
Live. It's Ethan Kaiser built that. He's been on with us before. I'm just there's just.
But if the money was unknown,
no, the money it's easy to know. All you have to do
girl
is you
would be
see
nice before
Crypto
she knows
Bro
I
in his
have
IG,
money.
and he doesn't have any fucking money.
We're not gonna be nice to anyone that can't do anything
here's
for
the thing.
us.
I'm gonna be real with you. Just like me, And I'll just like, or have a friend, an accountant. I promise you, no one can sneak shit past her. I promise you, no one can sneak. I promise you, credit score, fucking whether or not there's a lien on the house, all that shit. I promise you, she's gonna know whether or not. Get you a female friend who's an accountant.
She's and my friend.
But also, can I say this too? Ladies might hate this a little bit, but if you want a certain caliber of man, you got to level up yourself.
I agree 100%, 100%.
Because there's a lot of girls who out there, and I've seen them, that they're not taking care of themselves, kind of like what you were saying earlier. And women don't want to hear that because, you know, we get in our feelings about it.
You got to reflect what you want to attract.
But listen, there are certain places I'm not going because I'm not trying to attract those kind of men in my life, period. Exactly. But I hold myself up to a certain standard. So I'm not gonna go beneath my own standard because it's how I'm showing up. Now, I'm not going to have a man in my life with expectation because now I'm going to put pressure on him when I'm not even at that level. So it's like, if you're looking for something in your life, you got to look at yourself first because you're only going to attract so if a guy's playing you and he's lying, and I'm not saying you, of course, but if he's lying and he's not got money or whatever its situation is, you're attracting that. You're picking that.
Nobody got time for that.
Every time a girl comes to me and she's like, oh, I thought this dude had money, and I go check his IG, I can tell in 10 seconds this guy doesn't have money. It's so odd. You could like look up the license plate on the fucking Lambo he rented. It's so easy, especially with AI. And these women are just like they want to believe it. So gullible. Just dude, have one guy friend or just a female friend who's maybe an accountant or a financial planner and be like, hey, do you think this guy really has money? We can tell. So dude, I've worked in finance for 9 years.
You admit a lot of guys
of course they
fake their lifestyle, fake how they are to attract girls, and then you guys wonder why we don't want to be nice to every guy.
Most guys do.
But it's intense. I think what you're saying, I like what you said earlier about like you would rather play poor, so to speak, and make sure the woman was integral. Because I think intention is everything.
Yes.
And when women just want men for money, because I'm not suggesting that. When you just want a man for money, then you're just being transactional.
Well, I'm a whore.
Money, looking for something, they can smell that a mile away too.
It's just not genuine,
yeah.
You know. But my question is, when you're vetting a girl like that, how is she working 40 to 60 hours a week going to do all of those household chores for you?
I don't need her to work that much. She did it once, and I was like, "Baby, you don't have to do this again." I have a Augustina as my. I have a housekeeper. But whenever my girl's ever stressed, I'm like, "Put that down." I'm calling the housekeeper. Don't ever fucking do this.
But it was the intention of her wanting to take something off of your plate.
Correct. She passed the test. She didn't even know she was taking it. That's exactly right. Yes.
I think the gist of this conversation is something I've gotten into recently, is that there will never be an equal exchange of value between men and women. It's just simply not impossible. I hate the conversations where people will say, well, what do you bring to the table? That should never happen because there is no such thing as an equal exchange of value.
There's no way to measure it.
Well, exactly that. And like, I think it was Tristan Tate said something like, simping is an unequal exchange of value. If that's the case, then every man on planet Earth is simping right now. There has to be something that you find like that woman. Like, I think this sounds really irrational for this woman to be saying, well, I have these guys and they're basically they're sugar daddies, right? They have these guys that are just the rent's due, the money comes in. She's not fucking them. She's not doing anything with them. She's just there. And she's just like sort of a female companion who just happens to hang out with them. And she's nicer because of that. And I'm like, there's no here's a whole bunch of money just so you'll be a nice human being, right? And that's a commodity right now. It's so rare for some guys that you can commodify it right now. And I think that's a testament to what I'm saying when I say there's no such thing as an equal exchange of value.
I'm going to postulate a hypothesis. I don't know that I'm right, but I suspect that I am right. And I'm curious if you ladies can give me some insight to whether or not you think I'm right. I think that that women have never had more men give them money without having sex with them than at this point in history. Like when we played a clip one time where one was like, to date me is like $114,000 or something like that a year. And I was thinking to myself, if a woman was getting $114,000 from this dude and didn't sleep with him, she would never sleep with him. I used to manage a strip club 20 years ago, and the girls, it was like, there was always this idea. This is another strip club manager. He taught me this. He was like, the girls don't sleep with the client. And like everyone thinks the strippers all sleep with the clients. But if they did, they would stop making money. So they don't. They keep the fantasy. And I think we've never lived in a history. So this is what happens. I'll tell the guy friends, so ready, red pill audience, listen to what I'm saying. I tell the guys, these girls are getting money from dudes and they're not even having sex with them. And the response I get is, Michael, you're a simp. You're an idiot. Of course they're all fucking. And I was like, no, they're admitting to me, the guys that they're sleeping with for money. Like we've had plenty of girls on here who have been open sex workers, and they'll tell me when they're sleeping with guys for money. The same woman who's like, yeah, I sleep with this guy for money. I sleep with this guy and he doesn't make me have sex. Or he goes, I get money from this guy and he doesn't make me have sex with him at all. And what I'm seeing is that is happening way more now than at any point. So the problem wasn't women fucking dudes for money. The problem is women getting money without fucking dudes, and it has raised the price of dating women to some outrageous level. So does anyone disagree with me? Does anyone disagree with that?
I agree. Yeah, because if you want full, like these guys don't even get access and they're paying.
Yes.
You want full access for free for minimal effort.
So my point is, if I'm wrong, then OF wouldn't exist. What I'm saying is, like, what you guys are failing to, because people think that I'm making some moral judgments, like Michael's trying to save these hoes or act like they're different. Like, no. I'm telling you that women are getting outrageous sums of money for not sleeping with men. The only thing growing faster than the OnlyFans economy is what?
The simp economy.
The simp economy. That is the only thing growing faster. And so my point for you guys, that what I'm trying to help you understand is, you think that these women are all just going to like bang dudes because they have money. I'm telling you, they're getting money out of these dudes and they're not banging them.
I love
and
it.
It's getting even
like, who the fuck pays women for nothing? A lot of dudes, man.
Whoever asked that question, whoever asked that question, you look up, because it's a publicly traded company, I believe. Look up the 10K for OnlyFans. And I believe in 2023 it was $6.6 billion. Okay, billion in revenue. So I want you to look that up, and I think the revenue numbers that they've been increased. You ask that question, the answer is so easy to answer.
So there's an app called Moose or Moose. I'm sorry, MUSE or something like that, and it's basically like you're basically just sort of like a friend or a talk therapist. They pay you money and they're like, oh, I went on this date last night. I don't know how it goes. How do I message this girl? Or any sort of like, they just want a
men are paying for a woman's perspective.
Exactly.
When you could just come on Access Vegas. You just watch Access Vegas.
On here.
Do that as well. No. So you guys agree with me. It's like there's never been a point in history where women had to do less to get more money out of men.
Especially with older men.
Yes.
I've seen a lot in the casino business because women,
they're lonely.
To your point, well, it's dangling the carrot. Exactly. And once you give up the carrot, then there's that chase that they get. And I see a lot of women do. We used to call them butterflies in the casino. It's like, there you got your little butterfly, and they're spending money, and these girls are living the life, and they are not hooking up with these men.
So I want you to consider this, right? And I'm just going to use myself as an example here. Up until recently, I only wore an Apple Watch, and I had a car with 122,000 miles on it, and had no trouble getting women. And yet these other guys are paying women and getting no sex from them. Do you remember what I said before? The bottom 33%, 0 sexual partners. Then it goes to 7. Then it goes to 50, and then 150. This is what sexual access for men looks like. It's a hockey stick. It goes geometric once we get to a certain point. And so when you look at the data from dating apps, and you hear women say, I find 5% of men attractive, 3% of men attractive, 10% of men attractive, that's where we're getting into the place where we're a fully polygynous society, where the birth rate is going to plummet, and it's the marriage rate is going to plummet, and all these other things. And if that's what you guys want, that's fine. I just do think that there is something to be said, and he's married with kids. I'm not. Something to be said for having a family and having children.
Yes. And it's one thing if Michael Sartain says that and no one listens. But if Caller Daddy says that, everybody will listen, and suddenly they're going to be pulling that.
Yeah.
They're going to be farming our show for their content.
So if you guys missed any of the topics we talk about on the show, don't worry about it. Just wait a couple weeks. Call Her Daddy. We'll be talking about it, yes. Modern wisdom. You'll see it on there as well. You'll see Diary of a CEO. They'll have these discussions. I finally realized what's going on. I actually don't think that they're watching our show. I think they're using like Manus AI or OpenClaw, or they're using a Claude or something like that, and they're scraping every other show for topics, and they're just pulling our topics. That's the only thing I can come up with, because I don't think Chris Williamson sits there and watches all my shows.
I disagree. I think he hates us.
Because
everybody else, I believe,
he says things like verbatim what I say. And again, I don't think Chris Williamson is trying to bite my style. I just do think some of the topics he comes up with that he gets from his interns, he's probably getting that through an AI chatbot that is watching our shit.
Did you see? I know we're out of time, but did you see the clip with like Tom Beaulieu's wife.
Yeah,
on the Tom Beaulieu show.
Yeah.
on this show, and Coral Osborne. So she's been on this show. It's a sexologist.
Yeah, Coral. Yeah,
she's on there, and she is. I mean, she's just talking about red pill. You know, the stuff that we like. I did an interview with her, basically talking about the same kind of stuff. She can go on there and she can say that stuff to her, but we still don't get a spot on Tom Beaulieu's show. I'm like, throw me a bone, man, please.
Pretty awesome. So if you guys missed our talking points this week, just wait a week and you'll see them on mainstream shows. Okay. Anyway, anybody? Did you have a good time, Stephanie? I had a great time. You did. Can you talk to the microphone?
I had a great time.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming out. Did you have a good time?
Yes.
You did? Awesome. Brittany, do you have a good time?
Yes.
What did you think about the show?
I thought it was awesome. You know, I did a little bit of research before, listened to some episodes, and I was like, you know, I'm just going to be who I am, because there's so many times now being in Vegas, I'm embracing who I am. Or in Boston, I was like this corporate professional. So I love Vegas. I love all you girls.
Everybody in the comment section wants to know, what's your stack?
Oh yeah, of course everyone asks that. Let's talk about victim mentality again. Sure, I've been working out since I was 8 years old.
Okay, let me ask you a question. If a dude can't bench 2 plates, would you give him a shot?
No.
See, bigger arms. That's what
Listen, one more time. If ladies are constantly asking you for money, it's because your arms aren't big enough. Chloe, do you have a good time on the show?
Oh yeah, always. Thanks for having me again.
For sure. Did you have a good time?
Yes, thank you.
Of course. Lorraine, what did you think?
It was good. I was skeptical at first, but it was good.
Do you know why? People do this all the time. They come, it's like,
well, you know, people say, you know, I've been in Vegas a long time.
Yeah,
So
they just
I've heard a lot of things about
They
you.
just run their fucking mouth, and it's but part of it is social media. Like they sit there and they have all these beliefs about me, and I try to back up every single thing I believe with data, and they still believe this, and it's just like, yo, we're all stuck in these echo chambers. We did an election show one time, and I was like sitting there trying to find, because I'm conservative, and I tried to find, say, hey, I need liberal women. Can I get some liberal women? Nobody. I couldn't find anyone. And then I realized it's because my algorithm does not let me contact liberal human beings because of the echo chamber. And so that's why people have this opinion, and it's just so crazy to me. What do you think?
The best time always. Thanks for having me back.
Jen?
It was awesome.
Jen, can we get some barbecue? Can we see the barbecue sauce? Yay. Jen, what is this called?
Smoking Jen's Barbecue.
Smoking Jen's Barbecue. So have you broken off on your own and you have your own restaurant? Is that what's going on now?
No, just farmers markets.
Just farmers markets?
That shit is good too.
It is really, really good. Okay. Like, again, your dream woman. She's sitting there and she's like making barbecue for you.
The dog is already there.
The dog is already there for you.
Turnkey.
Yeah, and it's no balls. Incredible. What do you think of the show?
I had a great time.
Are we FIFO or LIFO? Wait, what is it? I'm just accounting terms. Huh? Those are accounting terms, right? Yes. Can I ask you a question? Why is it that I can write my Cybertruck off because it's 6,000 pounds? What is the reasoning behind that?
It's pretty much based on your state. It's your state.
Okay.
Yeah, it's based on your state.
I just don't understand, because they think it's farm equipment. Why can I write that off, but I can't write off a 5,000 pound car?
I mean,
in a while,
you can't pull any hay, or you can't do anything with
Okay.
it. Like agriculturally or anything, like it's, you know, you can get a Ford and that's easy.
Yes.
But they assume that you're using that for
my G-Wagon, I'm using it to pull hay.
Lighthouse, yeah.
I guess. What do you think of the show, Celeste?
I had a good time. It was a good first experience.
Okay,
we'll
awesome.
have you back.
Guys, come on. Next show is going to be May 6th, the day after my mother's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. It's coming up here pretty soon.
It is my daughter's birthday today. Alexa, happy birthday to you. 28 years old.
Yes. It's so funny because I went on some other show with one with Brian DeVille, and he was like, these red pill guys, none of them are in relationships. They don't have kids and they're not married. I was like, Rollo's been married for 29 years. And it just got quiet in the room. Yeah. That's pretty funny. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for all 62 million men who are watching this right now.
Yes.
I really appreciate you guys coming on here.
Welcome to the Access Vegas Academy.
One more thing. If you didn't like what I was saying, and you want to come after me because you think that it's offensive for me to correct you when you incorrectly said that there were 62 million men, I will, anytime, any place, if you want to do YouTube or if you want to do Twitter Spaces would probably be easier to set up. But if you, whatever you want to do, don't sit there and be a bitch. Don't sit there and be a little bitch in my comment section.
Be a little bitch.
Debate me live on camera if you think that what I'm saying is wrong. It wasn't 62 million men. It was 900 and something dudes in a Telegram group. It's still horrible. It's still something that we need to worry about. The story by itself does not need to be sensationalized. What happened was terrible, and credit to CNN for doing the work. But you thought so little of your audience that you thought that it was worth lying to them by saying 62 million men went to a Grape Academy. shame on you. And if you disagree with me, bring it on. Don't make your stupid little videos about me. Don't do any of that. Don't leave comments. Debate me live. I'm offering this up to any of you. By the way, same thing for flat earthers and same thing for people who think we didn't land on the moon.
All comers, just
all comers.
Anything.
Please come. Don't be a little child and sit there, be passive aggressive. Take me on head to head. I haven't lost a debate in 10 years and I'm not going to lose one to you. But hey, listen, like you want to fuck with the bull, you get the horns. We will see you guys in a couple weeks.
All right, guys. Bye.
It's nasty. It is nasty, right? Isn't it nasty? Ugh.
I don't know what that's about, period.
God wants you to have the baby.
If you guys want, I will take you all to Peppermill. If you don't, if you got